Going live! Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Storm King Thunder. My name is Michael, your most humble and merciful dungeon master for this evening. Welcome back to Proficiency Bonus. Hey, I heard that. Welcome back. We're so glad that you are joining us tonight. A few quick shout outs before we begin into tonight's session. I want to throw a quick shout out to Twitch, Team MZ, Streamlabs, and Many Sided Dice for their ongoing support of small streamers like us. And you should really check out the links below our video, and you can get some links to their websites and different information on how you can get connected with those partners of us. So thank you guys. We really appreciate it. Tonight, I wanted to do one thing before we jump into a recap. I wanted to remind you that on Tuesday, April 2nd, we have a new stream coming to the Proficiency Bonus channel called Tabletop Legends. Yes, we're super excited about this. It's going to be really cool. It's different than the way we usually do things on the channel, where our players will not be in the game via webcam. They will actually be sitting around the table as Dungeon Master Matt, who played Tuala in Tomb of Annihilation for a while, if you guys remember, here on the channel, is going to be the Dungeon Master for that new show, and he's got a wonderful cast set up and ready to go. And here is a little promo video that they shot just to remind you of the stream. So enjoy, and we'll be back with you in just a minute.
Hello, Internet. My name is Matt, and along with my friends here, we're the cast of a new show that we're calling Tabletop Legends. It's a live stream Dungeons & Dragons campaign, and the premiere episode is going to be coming out live to Twitch on Tuesday, April 2nd. Now, we're not quite ready yet, and we have a lot of work to get done before then. So,
you think you have what it takes to be adventurous? You think you have the necessary fortitude to traverse dungeons and battle dragons?
Am I the only one who just saw a wizard appear? Who are you?
I must warn you, many have tried before you, and they have all failed.
Did one of you guys bring a wizard with you today? Because I don't... where'd he go?
They at least had the decency to do it quietly and in the privacy of their own homes, but you have the audacity to do it live on the World Wide Web for all to see and for your loved ones to be embarrassed by.
How did... Look, I don't understand the weird, judgy vibe that I'm getting here, but we're just trying to put on a fun show for people. The show's premiere is in just a couple of weeks, and we have a lot to do. I mean, guys, tell him, don't we have a lot to do?
I would, but he is already gone.
He what? Shit. Okay, I guess let's just move on before he comes back again. To celebrate the first episode, we are going to be giving away a bunch of cool prizes. We've got gaming dice. We've got a Tabletop Legends poster that we had made. We've got some other merch that's still a surprise. But we do have the grand prize, which is this. This is the alternate cover foil 5th edition core rulebooks and Dungeon Master screen. This is an awesome item, and we're super excited that we're going to be giving this away. This is going...
You spend 3 hours screaming at each other, and you really expect people to watch. And I also hear you plan to give out lavish prizes on your first show to lucky viewers.
I mean, yeah, I literally just got finished saying that. I'm holding one of the items right now.
You plan to give these away for free to strangers. Truly, your stupidity knows no bounds. Well, we shall see how you fare. Wizards are known for their wisdom, and I have very mixed feelings about this group. But you seem very determined, so I shan't stand in your way.
Well, you could have fooled me. You've done nothing but stand in my way since you got here. Look, are you going to let me finish my announcement? Or are you just going to keep interrupting me? You need me to look away so you can vanish, don't you? Fine.
Are you done interrupting now? Or are you just waiting for me to start talking again so that you can appear? Okay. So, the show will premiere April...
I
God damn
also
it.
understand that you've made it quite easy for people to follow you on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, as well as the Proficiency Bonus's Twitch channel. Yes, you've made it quite easy for people to follow your slow descent into chaos, madness, and humiliation.
Listen, buddy. I've had just about enough of you tanking this promo. You and I are going to have a serious discussion about this. Nobody do anything interesting so that it cuts away from me and he can teleport away or whatever it is you're doing.
What?
What? Damn it! Look, just watch the show. Tuesday, April 2nd, 7 p.m. on twitch.tv/Proficiency Bonus. It's going to be great. I really hope to see you there. We will, I promise, have our wizard situation sorted out before then. I'm going to go get, I don't know, wizard repellent or something. Maybe we'll just put up a bunch of mouse traps.
Is he wearing sweatpants? Welcome back, everybody. Don't forget, Tabletop Legends, April 2nd, right here at Proficiency Bonus. Make sure you mark your calendar. You get an opportunity to win that limited edition bundle with the Player's Handbook, Monster Manual, and DMG. I also think it comes with a Dungeon Master's screen in there, too.
It's really nice.
So that is really cool. So make sure you tune in live that evening for your chance to win that. Plus, they're giving away a bunch of other things. A couple posters, signed posters, some sets of dice. It's going to be a really great night. So make sure you tune in and support those guys. I'm super excited about it. And I think everybody here is excited about it. It's going to be great.
Oh, yeah.
So, players, real quick recap from last week. Honestly, it was really a lot of Lachlan catching up with a lot of his old buddies from Waterdeep. Lachlan catching up with his old crew. You guys got to see Riser and Folan, two of Lachlan's friends that he used to hang out in Waterdeep with, along with Tren. You guys spent some time in the Yawning Portal. You met with a guy named Davil, who was a member of the Zentrum, and was talking to you guys about what's been going on in Waterdeep a little bit and trying to gauge, just trying to see what you guys were up to while you were in Waterdeep. Diana's been dealing with a lot of things at the hospital. She was... her and Dorn were dealing with the problem of the women that have been awoken, reconstituted to a world that they have no idea what is going on. It's basically like I used the example in Encino Man. It's kind of like being a caveman frozen, then all of a sudden you're woken up into a whole new world. How awkward that might be. So they were dealing with that. Callista was moving about. You guys went to a magic shop. Were able to come away with some interesting magic items. And eventually, after spending some time catching up in the Yawning Portal, you guys decided to turn in for the evening. Lachlan snuck out of the Yawning Portal, a little tipsy from the drinks that he had. Got a little lost on his way back to his parents' house, the I Saw Design carpenter shop, when a couple of thugs who were recognized as Xanathar Guild members tried to mug him, but Ashlyn and Molfin were following. And at the end of the session, Ashlyn had snuck up on one of the thugs and smacked him in the back with a quarterstaff. And then we rolled initiative and ended the session.
How about that?
So,
Well,
and so the story is told, adventurers. Ashlyn, you're first to go.
I don't see the initiative tracker.
It's
That's because we don't have one.
you
There's
don't.
no tokens.
There's no
You
tokens.
have to scroll up a bit. Yeah, it was
Oh.
22, 15.14.
Yeah, I've got it written down.
11.
Okay, I should have. Sorry.
So Ashlyn, you are up first, and you've got a good thwack on this one guy. He's holding the back of his head hunched over, just kind of
Oh, no.
moaning and groaning with the pain of the force of the impact.
How far up is the next building? How tall is the next building?
How tall is the next building?
Yeah.
Probably about 2 stories.
I want to disengage with a key point
Okay.
and then run up the side of the building.
Okay. And you can do that, right? As a monk? Is
Yes.
that you can just run up a building without making any
Yup.
checks or anything like that?
Run
Okay.
up
All right.
stuff. Yeah. So
So
I'm sorry. How much do you think that would be to disengage and run up?
it probably take your whole movement to get to the top.
Okay, movement to top.
Yeah, because it doesn't count as difficult terrain for you, does it?
No.
Okay, so you just up the side of the wall. Lachlan, you think you've had way too much to drink when you see this.
And then
You've-
I think because I want to wave my purple handkerchief of wild magic at them.
Oh, you're gonna use it?
Yes, I'm gonna wave it.
Okay. Okay. So she starts.
Oh, wait, I shouldn't.
She starts.
Do it now.
She starts waving the handkerchief. I need you to roll a D100 for me, please.
Okay.
Lachlan, I'm sorry.
I'm going to jail.
As all of a sudden, this
You and I are
handkerchief.
innocent bystanders, and
Whoa,
we
a
have no-
98.
Oh man, that's a
Oh,
really good
So,
no.
as-
yeah.
As Ashlyn begins to wave this handkerchief,
No.
some sparkling glitter-like magic starts to flow from the handkerchief. And sorry, I'm trying to find the page, guys.
Oh no, they're both shaking their heads.
Molfin's whole idea just right out the window.
Anytime there's a D100 and somebody rolls a 98, something bad happens. Like,
Or something really good.
Okay.
Exactly, I was hoping it was really good.
All of a sudden, as this magic starts to dissipate, you hear these strange tones. It sounds like 4 or 5 sets of wind chimes of various tonalities. Some sound like they're made of glass. Some sound like they're made of metal. Just chinging lightly all around you, Ashlyn. Beautiful wind chimes.
Okay.
This happens for the next minute.
Oh, really annoying. Enter.
And turn. All right. Next up is Molfin.
Okay, so these two are still looking
Yeah.
like they want to go, right?
They look stunned or kind of caught by surprise, but they haven't made a move at all yet. Like the one's just hunched over, holding the back of his head. Ashlyn just ran up the side of the wall, and you guys hear faint sounds of wind chimes coming from up by where Ashlyn is.
Okay.
Your best guess is she ran up there and like bumped into a bunch of wind chimes somebody had up on the roof for some reason.
Because, why not?
Probably.
So Molfin is going to look... looking at these two, does one of them look like they might be a little softer in the mental facilities than the other?
Repeat that for me.
When Molfin looks at these two, does one of them look like they might be a little softer upstairs than the other?
Your opinion of them is neither of them look very intelligent. I mean,
Okay, so
I know you can't judge a book by its cover, but this is one of those.
okay, does one of them look bigger than the other, like stronger?
The one that Ashlyn hit on the back of the head he has a shaved head and some tattoos. He looks a little bit more built.
Okay.
Probably a little bit more stout than the other guy, but they both look like they both look like they've been in a couple street brawls or something like that before.
They probably would have ripped Lachlan to pieces.
Molfin's going to point at the one that Ashlyn hit.
Okay.
And slowly, as he starts to speak, now, you would do well to remember the name Aldok.
collect your friend, flee the city. Never set foot back in here. As Molfin is casting Gaius on him.
What?
What is that? You place a magical command on a creature that you see with forcing it to carry out some service or refrain from some action. Oh. Wisdom saving throw, huh?
Wisdom saving throw, and is it effective for 30 days?
Oh my gosh.
What's the DC on this?
17.
All right. As he lifts up his head, he's looking right at you. His eyes just start to get this questioning look on his face. And he looks over, and you see him look over and start grabbing at his friend, like just jolting his arm and grabbing his armor a little bit. So wow, we need to get out of here. Why? What's going on? We got to run. It's time to go. We got to get out of here. We got to split. Let's go. Is that the end of your turn?
And Molfin's gonna sort of call out to Lachlan a little bit. Lachlan, time to go.
Go.
And turn.
Okay. It is that guy's turn. He basically starts dragging his friend the opposite way of you two, as quick as he possibly can. And you guys both watch as they go down and they start to bend over, like hunch down towards the end of the alleyway, pull off a manhole cover, and retreat down into the sewer.
Whoa.
One of them, the one that didn't get hit, quickly grabs the manhole cover and goes and shuts it.
Not quite what I meant, but...
Griff, do you think there's any evil fish down there, or any those little frog guys with the hooks? We should go down there and see.
And that is, we're out of initiative order.
Didn't we get treasure down there last time?
Ashlyn, could you come down here and carry him back?
I can try, Uncle Molfin. I'll come down and do you hear that?
Do we hear anything?
Yeah, you guys can hear it. As Ashlyn gets closer to you, the sound gets louder. It's this nice sound of wind chimes. Several of them. But you don't see any wind chimes. It almost seems like it's coming from Ashlyn herself.
I'll like minor illusion a drum beat to go along with it a little bit. Like...
Oh my god. Lachlan is super drunk. I will try to help him.
Chimes.
Ashlyn.
Alright, come on, Lachlan. We're gonna go back.
Where are we going?
We're gonna go to the yawning portal for the night, okay?
Oh, I don't want to go to the yawning portal.
I don't think your parents want to see you like this. Maybe you want to go to the yawning portal.
They don't have to see me. I'll just go in there.
You just totally almost got jumped by two thugs.
And I want to start lurching off toward the direction of the I saw design.
Okay. Lachlan seems to be ignoring you. Attack.
Grapple him.
Okay. Are you going to attempt to get away from Ashlyn?
I don't think I would know to resist.
Okay. Yeah, she just kind of grabs you, and yeah.
Can I fireman?
Fireman carry him.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she picks up Lachlan.
Legs are kicking.
Legs are kicking. And at about this time, the chime sounds from Ashlyn start to fade.
That was really weird. Okay. Pretty, but weird. Do you know I have a magical handkerchief, Uncle Molfin?
Yes, you purchased it at the store.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Very soothing.
Cool.
Let's just get him back and...
You guys can stay at my family's place too. It's okay. It's better than being away.
All right. You guys...
Did you take him to his parents?
We have beds, couches, chairs.
You do have a lot of chairs.
We have a lot of
A
chairs.
lot of chairs, yeah.
Not a naked
The
people
choice is
chair.
yours.
One of them shaped like a naked person.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, let's just take him back to the inn. He won't make as big of a fuss.
Okay.
Alright, so I'll start back to the yawning portal.
Okay, so you guys are heading back towards the yawning portal.
You guys always save me.
No, that's not true. You save us too. It's
I've
an
never
equal
saved
joint venture.
anybody.
Yes, you
I've
do.
never saved anybody. I'm always doing stupid things. You guys always save me.
No, you're fantastic, Lachlan. We're so proud of you, and we care about you greatly.
You guys are so strong.
You're very good with that bow.
And I'm just
Sneaky.
I'm nobody.
No, you're sneaky and good with a bow. Do you know what that makes you? An assassin. How cool is that?
As Ashlyn says this, you look over, Ashlyn, and as you're carrying towards a yawning portal, you can see about 4 individuals wearing these steel helmets that have points at the top of them. And one of them is clad with, or all 4 of them are clad with this gold and green, almost kind of like pullover attire. And you can see that they have some kind of armor underneath as they're marching. As you say the word assassin, one of them kind of just like glances over towards you just a little bit as they're walking, but they keep on kind of marching by as you guys are just walking down the street. These Lachlan, you would recognize as the city watch. These are kind of like the police force.
Yeah.
They do patrol at night, but usually more heavily in like the tougher wards, like the dock ward and things like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to get on that.
Who's my badass? Who's my badass? Is it Lachlan? Is Lachlan a badass?
I think I,
You're a badass. And I put him down to the ground.
All
I'm gonna
right.
try to start like walking. Yeah.
Callista, you are at a pretty nice bathhouse that you and Anastazius had frequented before. I want to ask you something. When you were talking to this crystal, did you want to spend a short rest and attune to this item?
Sure, if that's possible.
It is possible.
Sure.
So during the
I
conversation,
didn't know if that was a thing.
you how many items are you attuned to at this point?
2 currently.
2. Okay. So
I'm pretty sure. Let me just check. Yeah, I have the staff and I have the eyes of the eagle.
this is a crystal ball, and it is of the legendary variety.
Ooh, okay.
It is called a crystal ball of telepathy, which a crystal ball in itself allows you to cast the scrying spell with it. And this one in particular also allows you to communicate telepathically with individuals that you are either scrying on or who are within 30 feet of the scrying target. So not only can you scry, but you can also communicate telepathically with whom you are scrying or somebody that's close by.
That's pretty cool.
Okay.
So I just wanted to give you that tidbit of information because I didn't know if you wanted to do that or if that was just
Sure.
yeah. Cool. Diana, you spent most of your time at the hospital. It's been a long day. They do have places there for clerics and priests of Ilmater to stay. Would you stay there for the night, or would you?
I will probably stay there for the night.
Okay.
And I've been debating whether or not I wanted to do something. Let me just see what level spell that was again. Can I go to... Do I know where Moby is resting currently?
Moby or Anastazius?
Anastazius. Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking of all the characters.
I was gonna say, no one knows where Moby is right now. And Anastazius, yes, they still have him. They kind of wrapped him up. He's still in the, because this is still the first day you guys are in Waterdeep. We've had two full episodes of you guys just spending your first day in Waterdeep. Yeah, he's wrapped up currently in kind of like a funeral shroud inside the same room that he was in. So you know that he is currently there.
After, it's the nighttime, right?
It is, yeah.
I will, try to quietly traverse to this room. Not really sneaking, but just not wanting to disturb the people that are probably trying to sleep.
Okay. Yeah, you just walk by a couple priests and priestesses of Ilmater, and they just kind of just give you a gentle nod as you're kind of walking by. It seems like things are calming down for the evening.
Okay. And I'd like to enter the room where he's being kept.
Okay. You do. You enter. It's very dark inside. They've got all the lanterns and things blown out, and it's you can see just a little bit of moonlight cascading in the room, and just you can see the body wrapped up in a funeral shroud. A big a vase of flowers next to his bed.
I'm assuming that that's to cover the smell. No. I will walk up to the body and lay my hand on where I believe the face is underneath the shroud.
Okay.
And I will cast Secret's Dead.
What?
Okay.
What?
What?
I think I'm not there.
What?
I just want to say, not even Molfin went this dark.
Okay.
Greater good.
Now you cannot really see because the shroud is kind of wrapping his head. But do you feel as if the spell worked? Reciting a prayer to Ilmater to allow you to have just a word with the recently deceased.
Ilmater, I know that this is kind of iffy, kind of dark magic, but I just it's for the greater good of mankind and to save a friend. So
Okay. It's up to you. What would you like to do?
I kind of nudge him a little, like, Anastazius, wakey wakey, eggs and bakey.
I think it only, like, you can only ask it a couple questions, right? Is that how this spell works?
10 minutes worth of questions.
Oh, okay. Until the spell ends, you can ask the corpse up to 5 questions. The corpse knows only what it knew in life, including the languages it knew. Answers are usually brief, cryptic, or repetitive. So it's not like you're talking to Anastazius. It's kind of like you're talking to just like almost like pieces of his memories and things like that. He's like not 100% fully there. Do you like me? Check yes or no. That's good.
I'll be real. Diana's not very proficient. Diana doesn't do necromancy spells very often, so she really...
Speak with Dead is strange because, like, there's no soul there. It's kind of like you're just talking to the body and what the body has experienced or remembers. It's kind of strange.
Yeah, she is really slow and didn't really get that, and kind of now doesn't know what to ask. But she had ideas. What the heck to ask? Hey, Anastazius, how's sleep going?
How's sleep going?
I don't want to be rude and call it death.
You hear him saying, it doesn't sound 100% like Anastasia. It's a little raspier than what Anastasia used to sound like. But he says,
I might.
I might. he says, comfortable.
That's good. Do you dream?
No.
Do you... do you remember waking up from your long sleep at any point? Or trying to? Being called back?
Yes.
Do you know what stopped you from waking up?
Someone.
Was it the Raven Queen?
No. And I think that was your 5 questions, right?
Yep.
And as that happens, you can see that the head underneath the shroud just seems to sink back down to where it was.
Wait, what?
I'll just place my hand over Anastazius's face and yeah, pray that he finds peace finally and promise not to disturb him anymore.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I will go back to my room.
Okay. And you guys have, I wouldn't say a comfortable rest. Some of the questions that you asked Diana seem to stir in your mind a little bit as you try to get to sleep, eventually drifting off. Lachlan has some strange drunken dreams of fighting things in random alleys, and his hands all of a sudden turn into snakes and they start to like bite at these thugs. And then Ashlyn starts almost like flying off the buildings and bumping into a bunch of wind chimes. And the night before just seems to kind of replay in his head a little bit in his drunken state. And you guys all wake up the next morning in your respective places after a full night's rest. So you guys get a nice long rest if you needed it. Important nat 20 for Molfin. My goodness.
Oh, I drank too much. Oh.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. As you guys all begin to meet, I would say, downstairs in the yawning portal for some nice breakfast. As you guys
How'd I get back here?
meet with Brock.
That isn't important, Lachlan. Perhaps we should go and find the others.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Let me make it easier. Perhaps we should go.
Nice. That was so good. Yeah, you can... Yawning Portal doesn't seem to be immensely crowded here in the morning. It seems to be more of an evening place where adventurers and retired people get together, retired adventurers get together and share their stories of their travels and their experiences.
Any greasy food?
Oh yeah, they got lots of greasy food. Lots of greasy food. Pretty much anything you would want for breakfast, they have it here at the Yawning Portal. It's just...
Except I'm broke, so my stomach's just growling. I'm staring at tables.
You don't go to the Yawning Portal for its elegant food and flavors. You go for it there for the stories and the companionship, the fellows that you meet.
I will buy Lachlan food.
Oh, right. So
Ashlyn, thank you.
I give him 10 gold and say, don't spend this all at once.
Oh, my life has changed, Ashlyn. Thank you. I tuck it very carefully into a coin purse.
Okay.
Does it look like they're pretty involved in their conversation about breakfast?
Oh no.
Seems like it.
Molfin's gonna try to slip something into belongings.
Okay.
Oh no.
Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check, contested against Lachlan's passive perception.
My passive perception is 15.
Okay. It succeeds.
Oh, reverse pickpocket! I'm so proud.
It's successful.
Do I know or do I not know?
You don't know.
Okay.
You have no idea what he just did. Nor do I.
Okay.
Because he didn't tell me.
I should let the DM know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fantastic. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
You want to go back to your parents, Lachlan, today, or did you have other plans?
Well, I mean, what do we have on the agenda today?
Sober you up.
That's gonna be rough. Let's move on to the next thing.
Find Callista.
We have to...
Callista.
One would assume Callista would probably return back to the hospice after
Oh, that's true.
the collect.
Diana.
We all left Diana there with Dawn, so...
Okay.
Can we go
let's get
check
the
in with
hospital.
them? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yes, and then we have to hit the lower marketplace, but...
Oh, your evil marketplace? Okay.
I mean, evil.
You said a
It's
puppy
just-
found in the zoo.
Evil is such a point of opinion, Ashland. Sneaking up
Okay.
behind a random
I
person,
gesture at
clubbing
his
him in the
curtain.
back of the head could be viewed as evil.
That
by
was for
some.
Lachlan's benefit, and what if I say unsavory? Is that better?
Perhaps.
As this discussion is happening, I'm gesturing at Molfin's curtain face.
It's curtain face. That's great.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to ignore though still.
Cramps, I liked your real face. It was handsome.
It had character.
Perhaps you will see it again sooner rather than later.
Okay.
I don't know what that means, but okay. That sounds like a threat.
Yeah, I don't know.
Brock like leans over and he's like, yeah. And later, I think Ashley and I are hitting up the bloody fist, right? Yeah.
Lachlan. Sober up, Lachlan. You're my tag team buddy.
All right. I'll get it together. By the way, thanks last night, both of you. Thank you.
Nothing you wouldn't do for us.
Okay.
I don't
thank
think
you.
anything happened last night.
Yeah,
I saw a couple of individuals
Brock's kind of like,
down into the sewers.
Brock looks confused. He's like, wait, what happened? Did I miss something?
No.
I didn't? Huh.
We saw a couple of individuals cleaning the sewers.
Oh. That's kind of
About that.
That's kind of gross.
Oh. Okay. Let's
Are
go
there any of those little guys down there with the things and the fish monster?
Yeah, that was.
One could only hope. I mean,
Treasure, diamonds.
All right.
You want to go in the sewer right now?
I mean, last time it worked out pretty well for us. Just gonna say, I got emeralds. I pull out one of the emeralds. I got emeralds.
Why don't you give that? Why don't you make
I put it back in my backpack.
You can trade that for money. You know that.
You see a couple of adventurers from 3 tables over looking over at Lachlan. Like, I saw these giant emeralds. And
Back off, buddy.
They all just like kind of slunch down and start eating their breakfast again.
This is why you get mugged.
You actually have a really good point. I'll, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just saying. All right, let's find.
I won't debate that. Yeah.
Yeah, the old rule, don't get your wallet out and start digging through your cash in front of everybody.
Oh, look at all my $100 bills. Yeah.
Man, I wish I could afford this. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's go to the hospice, right?
Yeah.
All right. So you guys travel to the hospice. Diana, as you wake up, is there anything that you wanted to do in the morning, or are you just gathering yourself, getting yourself prepared for the day?
I cast commune as a ritual, and I'm gonna talk to my god.
Okay, fantastic. Okay,
What?
can you copy and paste it into the chat so I know the exact details? I got the handbook here, but it might be quicker for you to just. There you go. You contact your deity or a divine proxy and ask up to 3 questions that can be answered with a yes or no. You must ask your questions before the spell ends.
Within 1 minute.
You receive a correct answer for each question. Divine beings aren't necessarily omniscient, so you might receive unclear as an answer. The question pertains to information that lies beyond the deity. Okay. All right. So the deity is just going to answer with a yes, no, or unclear. So your questions and how you word them matter for this commune spell. So you take the 10 minutes to prayer. You feel this connection between you and Ilmater that you felt before. But it was kind of like almost when you got to see him and you had that moment, you shared that moment. It's kind of that same feeling as you were deep within your prayer.
Ilmater, was it another deity, good or evil, that stopped Moby from returning to us?
You mean Anastazius?
You mean Anastazius?
Anastazius, damn it! You're the one. I am like a grandmother with too many grandchildren. All of these names.
All these non-elves.
After just a couple seconds, you hear unclear.
Okay. Okay. Is Callista in any immediate danger? And by immediate, I mean like, I don't know, within the next like 7 days or so of by herself or by another?
Unclear.
You're really being a little bit of a pain, Ilmater.
What?
Lightning bolt.
Lightning bolt. Diana, you have one more question.
Is Molfin a threat to the well-being of the rest of the party?
Unclear.
Yes. and it's almost like that feeling, that connection that you had with your deity slowly just dissipates as you come out of your prayerful state.
Okay, that's terrifying.
And now, because I am that girl, I'm gonna cast Legend Lore on the thing that Molfin's got on his face.
Okay. Name and describe a person, place, or object. The
Object?
spell. Well, you
Name the shroud.
Okay. Lore about the thing named. The lore might consist of current tales, forgotten stories, even secret lore that has never been widely known.
Wow.
If your name isn't a legendary person, you gain no information. Oh, fantastic. I didn't even know you had this spell.
Diana did not come to play today.
I love that spell. I'm so glad you have that spell.
Wow.
I love that one
felt
so
special
much.
design now.
The information you learn is accurate, but might be couched in figurative language. For example, if you have a mysterious axe in hand, like, woe to the evildoer whose hand touches the axe, for even the half slices the hand of the evil ones. I'm not gonna. I can't. I'm not as good of a dungeon master to be able to just bust out like a figurative language phrase for this. So I'm just going to. Yeah, I can't improv rap. I'm not a rapper. But
I
one.
don't know. Someone made me sing like 2 weeks ago on camera, and that was really fun.
You you are aware with casting this spell that the shroud is the shroud is connected to an ancient lich by the name of Vecna. There is stories of the lich being able to control a few other, maybe lesser beings that were seeking lichdom, and another lich used this shroud to actually trap and draw souls to itself. And you know that there are other artifacts that, if this shroud is combined with those other artifacts, make it even more powerful.
Okay. You hear that frantic typing? That's me taking notes for the first time in my gaming career.
So...
Okay. Cool. Okay. Now Diana, after learning all of that, is going to rehearse in the mirror how to act normal.
Okay.
And then that's my time. Goes down and joins Dorn to assist with the ladies.
And since you do have that spell, you would also know that there was a time where it was this artifact was hidden and guarded underneath Neverwinter, and another mage, a dragonborn mage, tried to use it to raise what are called the Nine. It's basically, if you've ever watched The Lord of the Rings, it's kind of like that. These 9 wraiths from around Neverwinter to basically unleash them on the world. And he was stopped before he could get a chance to use that kind of power. And then...
But I don't... Do I know how he was stopped?
He was stopped by an allegiance of adventurers. And also by some other mages, even some that are connected to the Arcane Brotherhood.
Which she's in or something?
This is too deep, bro. How am I gonna act normal? What am I gonna say to Molfin? What am I gonna say?
This thing is old. It's been around for a very long time.
Oh my god. Cool.
All right.
That's it.
All right.
That's my turn.
Callista, what would you be doing as you wake up at the bathhouse to prepare for your day?
I have a couple errands to run.
Okay.
Nothing too important. It's all mostly aesthetic. I want to find like a locket or something to keep Anastasia's lock of hair in.
Okay. Yeah.
I also wanted to go get my nails painted exactly like his.
Oh, nice.
And when my party sees me again, Callista would have cut her own hair short in the back, keeping it a little bit longer in the front.
Nice.
Aww.
We'll go ahead and just since that's kind of like aesthetic stuff that you would do around the city, I'll just say that you just when you show up at the hospital, you just have that. We don't have to kind of go through that whole thing. That's fantastic. I would say, you could pay a fair price, whatever price you think it would cost to get your nails. I'm not an expert at how much it costs to get a mani pedi. I don't know.
Acrylic?
I'll give them 3 gold.
3 gold.
The service.
That sounds fair to me.
Yeah, like,
Because I have no clue.
it's like 3 days to pay for a normal person, right?
Yeah.
It's like in Canadian terms, it's usually between 30 to 80, depending on what you're getting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
The more you add on.
Glad I'm not
Yeah.
nails.
Yeah, if you're getting like the gel or how long they want to last
The
for.
gel's not 50 or something.
I know it cost my wife a fortune to get her hair done, so.
Jeez.
Well, Callista just cut her own hair. And I would also say that with her new armor, she still has Anastasius's cape on the back.
Sure.
But she, just to like help calm herself down, she's druidcraft vines over top of the armor with some of the forget-me-not flowers.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good visual. Very cool.
She's a lot more colorful.
Oh yeah, she's taking some of Anastasius's color and keeping
redo
it.
your portrait so that you don't have the hood and you're gonna. I am so freaking excited.
Oh, and she's got to redo Molfin's too.
I just put a black cube around his face.
That's it. Same body, just this black spot on his face where his head used to be.
Used to make anonymous people.
Yeah. And eventually you guys all arrive back at the hospital. I'll say that you guys have all kind of made your way back to the hospital. You're all back as one group now, meeting together. You can see that funeral preparations have been starting to be prepared for Anastazius, and it'll be about 4 more days until the big, they'll do an elaborate parade that leaves the hospital and heads down towards the City of the Dead, where they will march him down through one of the main roads that lead into one of the gates, march him through the city, and place him to his final resting place, which is in the southern right-hand corner. There's a large mausoleum there where they put the heroes of Waterdeep to rest.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Aw, that'll be great, Callista.
And they're planning on a grand parade. They're worried that going with such haste, it might be... They're trying to get as many people to come as they can.
Well, we got that bard on our side, too.
Yeah, you guys definitely have some...
Dabble.
Yeah, Dabble, you guys got some benefits of having him and his connections, too. So,
Right.
yeah, definitely cool. All right, so you guys have reconvened.
Yeah, we have 4 days, just enough time to get into some trouble.
Diana.
Yes, hello. Hi. How's everything going?
Good. I missed you last night. Can I talk to you in private?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Casual.
I'll go drag her into a corner.
Ashlyn and Diana seem to disappear from the main group for a while.
So, I don't know how to flirt. Can you be my wing woman?
What? You don't know how to flirt?
I'm really bad at it.
Sweetie, you don't gotta do nothing but just stand there and look pretty and let the boys come to you.
But
Or
I
girls.
don't know. I haven't had a boyfriend in like my entire life. Well, it wasn't really loud at the monastery. And Lachlan
That's
never
okay.
liked me back, so then he was with that whole killer thing, and then I was like, pfft, and so I don't know what's going on now. But I can't flirt.
No, it's okay. Well,
Okay.
we will get you. I will be your wing woman.
Okay.
I will be the woman beneath your wing. I will be the feathers on your fleece. I don't know what they're called on birds. But I got you. I got you,
Okay.
sis.
Okay, thank you.
Girl,
Thank
we
you.
gon'
Just
I have a question though first.
yeah.
Do you You know what? Never mind. We'll save that for another time. Ask him. Okay. Yeah. No. We'll save that talk for another time. We'll start with the basics, and then we'll go from there.
Gotcha. I point out like it's really, gotta keep
Just
those
know
finger guns
that
in.
if any of them pressure you to do anything, legally you can stab them.
Okay. I probably would kill them.
Is that true?
But
that is perfectly true. You can stab whoever you want if they make you try to do something you don't want to. Don't follow. Don't listen, Ashlyn. Do not go with strangers. Ashlyn, if a stranger. Rule number 1: if a stranger comes up to you and is like, "Oh, you want to go to my wagon and see a puppy?" You say no.
Okay. Yeah. What if the puppy's cute?
Still no, because the puppy can be a trap.
Okay.
Also, you keep a hand over your glass of water.
Water. Okay.
Hand over it, because you don't know. You know, there's a lot of potions these days. You don't know what they do.
Right.
You know, they can be clear.
Okay.
You always gotta be smart.
Okay.
I'm learning all of this from what they taught us at the seminar in I didn't go to a monastery, but you know, at the temple, they would do these outreach programs for the young ladies, and this is what they taught me. I don't really know why, but they taught me this.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
I can see why now, though.
No strangers. Okay.
Yep. Keep an eye on your glass. Stabby stab. And no puppies.
Okay.
That's it.
I got it. It's all in here.
The foundations.
Tonight's episode title is Hand on Glass, No Puppies.
Stabby stab.
Stabby stab.
Stabby stab. All right.
Thank you. Thank you. So we'll rejoin the group.
As you rejoin the group, Callista and Lachlan are standing there with Brock. Callista and Lachlan, would you guys have anything to discuss at this moment? Brock's just kind of hanging out with you guys. Looks like he's wearing some nice clothing. He's looking pretty nice. He's starting to clean himself up a little bit, being in Waterdeep.
Good old Brock.
Anything in particular?
What was their plan?
Oh, we have a couple days to blow, right?
Or
well, you know, the city underneath the city where we get it all.
The what? Under the where?
Oh.
Oh, was I not supposed to say that in front of Callista?
Or Diana.
Diana, you'll like this. Diana, you'll like this.
City? There's a city underneath this city?
He means the crime
And it's more
underbelly.
fun!
He means the criminal underbelly of operations.
Yeah.
No, we don't have time to unpack all of that.
We have 4 days!
we do have merchandise that I feel like we should get rid of.
I need to get some diamonds.
There we
Whoa,
go.
this sounds perfect, Gramps.
And as you say Gramps, Lachlan, and you look, Molfin isn't there.
God damn it.
He did walk in, but he's just not standing with your group anymore.
I immediately look for him. I immediately want to know
Where'd he
exactly
go?
where
I
he
have
is.
a high pass up.
Yeah.
At this point, Molfin, you slip inside of a room and you close the door behind you.
What?
And you can see that Dorn is putting a blanket kind of over top of one of the young girls that you guys have saved in one of the rooms. Just kind of just gonna tucking her underneath a blanket, just making sure everything is okay. And you walk in and he looks up. Oh, you startled me.
My apologies. I was hoping to catch you for a moment. We are heading off to take care of some more business, and I wanted to speak with you a few moments as friends would do.
Friends.
And Molfin is going to cast Dominate Person
Okay.
on Dorn.
What?
Okay. Is that a wisdom save?
That's a Wisdom save, DC 17.
We are watching the emergence
Wow.
of the BDEG, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Did you...
I'm uncomfortable
Wait,
with this.
did you just try to cast a spell on me?
That's my boy.
He rolled it.
That Molfin is
He rolled an
Molfin
18.
takes a step back, panicking. And very quickly,
You see that thing is taking over you. And he
Molfin
points.
starts gesturing and muttering again, and casts Modify Memory.
Oh.
To burn a portent, so he rolls a 4.
Nice. All right.
I
Yeah.
don't think he's gonna have a plus 11, plus 13.
He
to
does.
his modifier.
He does not have a plus 13. No. So, as he pointed to you and said that, you start muttering as you back up. You do this flamboyant flail of your hands across the front of you, and he just looks at. He's like, "Now, what exactly do you modify? Is it just a single memory, or is up to 10
It's a
minutes?"
memory of an
weave it
event
any way
that
he
happened
wants.
Within the last 10 minutes.
Okay. How would you like to modify it?
It's Molfin walked in and said that Diana was looking for him.
Okay. And then he looks at you. He's like, "Oh, well, thank you for letting me know. I'll be right there." He looks a little hesitant to walk to you because he was a little startled by you to begin with. You can sense there's some. He's a little afraid of you, Molfin. Your passive insight tells you that.
And then Molfin walks out, a little bit shaken.
Okay. It seems that Dorn slowly walks out after that. And are you headed back to the group, Molfin?
Yep.
Okay. So
And as Molfin gets there, I'll find. Oh, Diana, I went and found your mentor for you. He's on his way.
you guys had just started to break apart, noticing Molfin was gone, when Molfin comes out from a hallway, and you can see Dorn probably about 20 feet behind him, following suit.
Thank you, Molfin. Yes, I was looking for you, Dorn. We should have a conversation.
Oh, yeah.
You and Callista and I.
Of course.
Oh,
Absolutely.
It's
Is it-
about, our poor Anna's remembrance. We wanted to do something special.
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. And, he kind of gestures me down the hall, I guess, just to find a place to chat.
Okay, so I lied. This is not about Anna at all. Well, it kind of is. It's about Anna and Molfin.
Okay, yes.
And I wasn't going to do this so soon, but it seems that someone has forced my hand.
Okay.
That was a Zosmus laugh, not a Diana laugh. I've just been doing some research and came across some things that were just mildly concerning. Also, talked to Ilmater and kind of, through him, asked a couple questions about about Anastazius's well-being. He's fine. If that comforts you at all. I asked how was Anna's sleep, and the response was comfortable. And he doesn't dream. That's all I know.
You spoke with Anastasius's corpse?
No, that is not what I said at all.
Wait.
I said I spoke to Ilmater,
You spoke to
and
Ilmater.
Ilmater responded and told me some things about Anastazius.
Oh,
and how
okay.
he's doing.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes more sense. I'm sorry. I've misunderstood.
It's perfectly okay.
It's
I understand. It happens.
it's been a long night. I've been busy with these ladies. I've been trying to figure out what we're going to do.
Oh, you went busy with the ladies. I
I guess I came out the wrong way, right?
See, now we're both tripping up and saying things the wrong way.
It's really been a long night. Ugh. He's just kind of like
Yeah.
rubbing
he
his
said
hand.
that he
He definitely he
He's
looks
comfortable and doesn't sleep or doesn't dream.
Sorry, what was it, Callista?
Ilmater told you that he's comfortable and he doesn't dream?
Yes, and a few other things too, about the resurrection and about Molfin. Most of the answers were very unclear, but I don't believe it's the Raven Queen that stopped Anastazius from awakening.
Callista rolls her eyes.
I'm being dead serious, Callista. I researched into what that thing on Molfin's face is. It's something, it's obviously we know that it's called the Shroud, but it's connected to some ancient lich called Vecna. And I look at Thorn. It's Thorn's reaction.
Make an insight check, Diana.
Okay. Let me just boop, boop, boop. Where's my insight? There it is. That's 9. 15.
All right. You notice his eyes get quickly wide for a second. It's almost like he was shocked to hear that name thrown out, and then they just go back to normal very quickly. It happened within a split second when you mentioned the name Vecna.
But I know that that thing is something powerful, and from the sound of it, it doesn't sound good. What was it?
Do you think that blocked Anastazius?
I mean, I can make an educated guess based off of the information that I have. The information that I have is, I asked Ilmater, did another deity, evil or good, block Moby's return, Anastazius' return? And Ilmater said no. Or not no, but he said that it was unclear. And this thing was a lich, but it was worshipped like a god, so maybe that's why it's unclear. This thing, the shroud
Why
that's
the
connected
raven feathers? I'm not convinced, Diana.
Who knows? Maybe it was a ploy. Maybe it was something to convince it. But the point is that we're dealing with so many things on other planes of existence that we don't know anything about, and that the main concern I think right now is that Molfin is wearing something that is connected to mind control and evil, and that needs to be stopped. And I'm not saying that we kill Molfin. I don't want that. I'm saying, however we can get him separated from the Shroud, we'll save his life.
Dorn chimes in. He's like, Diana, I do agree that eventually Molfin needs to be separated from the Shroud. But
eventually, more like today.
I don't think it needs to happen today. Molfin... Let me put this lightly. Well, not so lightly, I guess. The route that Molfin is going, he could likely get himself killed. You don't have to take any unnecessary risks. He is dangerous.
I don't want him killed. I don't want him dead. I remember who he was when he was just a cute, maybe a little bit, weird little old grandpa of these two gnomes that came with us to just
Diana, listen. That Molfin does not exist anymore.
He might still somewhere inside of him. I don't doubt that it's there. Why hasn't he betrayed Lachlan then? If that part of him is gone, why does he still love his family? If he's on the path of such evil that he's lost his humanity. I think that Molfin can be saved. I think he needs to be saved.
Molfin has a lot more on his plate than just a shroud over his face.
The shroud slowly consumes. It slowly takes away, and it will keep taking away until none of those things are there anymore. Molfin is as good as gone, Diana.
What about Asmodeus and all of that? What are we going to do about that? Because the way that
does Dorn know about Asmodeus?
Oh, does
Asmodeus teleported Dorn?
He did, yes. Yeah, he did. He did, yeah. Dorn knows about Asmodeus, but he still has no clue about what that was all about.
Context.
Yeah, he doesn't know the background or context. That would have creeped him out immensely.
The other part of it is if he's in a contract with something that owns him once he dies, and this is leading him towards death, it's not just saving him in the current life, it's saving him in the afterlife too, to get the shroud away from him.
Dorn kind of chuckles at that. Oh my goodness, Diana, do you know how difficult it is what you're saying?
But we have to try. What? We can't just...
Trust me, there's many conversations that still need to be had here.
I'm trying to make this one happen. We need to... I know you're grieving, but we need to...
Molfin will do whatever it takes to save Moby. I will do whatever it takes to save Moby and Anastazius.
I just don't want anybody
If we have to be used for a little while, take the risk for a bigger reward, it's worth it.
What if you lose yourself entirely in the process? Is that what they would want? Does Moby want to see his grandpa?
Do I
or
look
uncle
like
or
I'm
whatever?
losing myself, Diana?
You don't. But Molfin doesn't have a face.
I will deal with Molfin.
I just don't want you to get dragged down too. Because I asked Elmater about you too. And I asked him if you were a danger. I asked him if you were a danger to yourself or if there was danger coming towards you. And that was unclear too. And I don't know what that means. But that scares me. Because you are my family. Just like Molfin is, just like Lachlan, just like Moby was, just like Anastazius was, just like Ashlyn is. We're a family. And I can't lose any of you. Not for the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th time. 7th, really, if we're including, you know, the OG one that I lost. So just please, just don't take it lightly. That's all that I want. Is to know that we have something working.
I have never said I trusted the Shroud. I know Anastazius didn't trust the Shroud.
Well, I'm going to keep looking for a solution to it. And I'm going to keep looking for a way to get that thing off of him. Even if it kills me, so half.
That's not going to happen either.
It's just hard to look at him sometimes. And to see what he's becoming. I can hardly stomach it.
He did what he needed to do with Asmodeus. Not saying it was smart, because we could have used it to our advantage in a completely different way, but again, that's another conversation that I'm still holding onto the table for. We need to stand united, or I go my own way. I have my own plans. And that's getting them back.
Okay. By the way, I just want to throw that out there. There are still giants rampaging around. I don't know when we're going to deal with that, but I feel like it should be soon. That's kind of also a problem.
I
this thing called Storm King.
I promise I didn't pay Zos to say that on stream. I promise.
Zos, is that a shiny new headset you're wearing? Taco parade!
As the Dungeon Master gets the Storm King Thunderbook out and blows the dust off.
Opens it slowly and bats fly out of it.
That's it. Yeah.
I'm going to hold Diana's hand.
I hold Callista and give it a squeeze.
I love you. And I'm not losing you too. But I need to put a stop to this. Whether it's the Raven Queen or Asmodeus blocking this, keeping us away from Moby, keeping us away from Anna, I will do anything to make sure that never happens to you. Ever.
Okay.
That's where I stand, Diana.
And you know where I stand. That I will still be here, and I will still remember you all how you were. And I won't stop fighting until you guys are okay. And not just putting band-aids over wounds. I mean okay. I'm not going to let you guys turn into evil versions of yourselves.
As this is happening, the others are eating in the hospital cafeteria.
Ooh.
The food definitely is not as good as the yawning portal. I like that little ew. Whoever said that.
Been there, done that. Don't like hospital food.
Yep, the hospital food.
I would actually ask Diana to, if she wants to come with me, she can. But I was thinking of taking Cleo to the Griffin Armory.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe letting her stay there for a day and maybe get some training in terms of flying and stuff, and just pay them to do it while we go do what we need to do underneath.
I'm down with that. I dig it.
Oh yeah. You guys could definitely do that. It may cost a little chunk of change, but I think you guys are rich. You guys are rich,
Yeah,
so I don't think it matters.
We're gonna buy a house.
What you talking about, Popper Boy?
So yeah. So while
so I would tell the group, like, 'cause I'm not sure where in correlation to the Griffin area to where we actually need to go. Like, what's the distance from, I guess, the dock port? Is it the docks?
You guys are headed. I'm not really sure where the Griffin training place would be necessarily, but I would think, yeah, that's the sculpture that's on top of the mountain. I would say probably somewhere in the closer to the. Here, I'm gonna shift ping where I think it might be, like somewhere in this. Well, if it would let me shift ping it, somewhere in this area, maybe over here.
Okay.
On the middle castle ward near the plateau area here. I think that would probably be, because here's this structure right here that I'm shift pinging. This is where most of the government takes place. It's kind of deceiving because a lot of people think that it happens in Castle Waterdeep, but Castle Waterdeep is just more like a figurehead, so to speak. Yeah, it's kind of more so like that. Most of the legislation and the stuff happens in that other structure there. Can't remember the name of it offhand, but I don't have my digital map pulled up where I can just click on it and tell me what it is. So,
well, I would tell the party to meet us towards the caves, and me and Diana would go drop off our griffins for a day.
Okay.
And then meet them there.
Yeah. They agree, and they kind of tell you that the griffins are still a little young for a lot of training. They can do some basic things with them, and
I just figured get them back in their their environment with other griffins, like other packs. Socialization, maybe some flight training. See if they can actually get off the ground.
Yeah.
Just get their appetites back up.
Yeah.
It's been rough, so I basically want to just pamper the heck out of my griffin for a day.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah.
So I will pay extra if I need to.
Yeah,
make that happen.
I'll come up with a price here in a little bit. I wanted to do some research on that before I throw out a number.
Sure.
But yeah, sure. The rest of you, while they're doing that, dropping off the. Is there anything in particular you guys wanted to do here before we take our break?
Another $100.
Give
100 gold pieces.
You're handing Lachlan 100 gold pieces.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just let him hand it into his hands, but I didn't, so I'm just gonna give it to him.
Oh.
And be like, here.
She was trying to sneak it into your pocket, and you're just watching her. What are you doing?
Ashlyn.
I like your pockets.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, they are pretty good pockets.
I know, they're like cargo, but on the top. It's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
like I was just checking them out.
They feel heavier.
Okay. Molfin, anything in particular you got going on?
Molfin's just waiting to get downstairs.
Okay.
He's got some items he's got to find.
All right. So at this point, I think it's a great time for us to take our break for the evening. So we're going to go ahead and take a 5 to 7 quick break to refill our drinks and things, and we will be back in just a short time. So make sure you guys stick around and see what happens. So I think our adventurers are headed towards the Port of Shadow, otherwise known as Skullport. So that is... Oh, and there it goes. It was empty the whole time. See? Surprise. It was either empty the whole time or there's just Coke all over Zoss's place. Very, very cool. All right, you guys stick around with us. Oh, I'm just all disoriented now. I can't even stream right.
Oh my gosh.
That's what we do to you, Michael.
That's what every week. Every week. We're gonna go to commercial, guys. We'll be back in about 5 to 7. We'll see you in a bit. Well, you heard it. You heard it first, ladies and gentlemen.
For the first time ever, Diana is in
character, and she is going to save Molfin. Welcome back to Proficiency Bonus. My name is Michael, your most humble and merciful dungeon master, if you choose to believe so. I guess.
I'm starting to believe
Maybe.
you're the merciful one and Diana's the bloodthirsty crazy
You
person.
see, it's all out of my hands. Well, welcome back, guys. Thanks for tuning in. This is episode 67 of Storm King's Thunder. We're glad that you're here. We're going to dive right back into the adventure as our party is getting ready to head to Port of Shadow, otherwise known as Skullport, which is underneath Waterdeep. Not really 100% sure why they're going there yet. I think they just want to go there. I don't know.
Molfin is looking for items that he was told he would have better odds of getting in the black.
Okay.
What sort of items?
Probably
I was
human
just gonna nag him about it.
So
the dungeon master will find out.
So in order to do what Aldoc told you guys to do, basically he told you to go up here to the west gate. The west gate is probably, in Lachlan, you would know, the west gate is probably the least guarded of the gates because of just the the way the ocean is here, it's really rough waters, and where it says the mud flats up here above the west gate, all that's really out here this is where the fishermen kind of take small boats out, usually just simple rowboats along the shores here, and they get past just by where the rough waves are, and they fish for all kinds of different fish and crab. They do crabbing and all that kind of stuff in this area.
This is awesome.
And the way he described to get to Skullport was basically take a boat down the coast a little bit to this part I indicated on your map, where there is a cave that leads into the depths below Undermountain.
Okay.
Do we have anyone who can pilot a boat?
Me.
Can I be your first mate?
Sure.
Yay!
Okay.
Now we need a boat.
So you guys, are you?
Guaranteed passage on a ship sometimes.
It's probably a little bit before lunch right now, as you guys are heading. Callista, Diana had some time to drop off their griffins. You guys had that, some time to get ready. You had an early lunch at the hospital cafeteria.
Yeah, it's good.
Very good.
So satisfied.
Lots of Jello.
And you guys are all headed, I believe, that way, if that's the direction you guys were headed. Okay. The gate during the day is open. Seems like there are a few of the city guard there. It's not as heavily guarded as some of the other gates, and they just kind of carefully watch passerby, usually expecting to see fishermen headed back out to their boats and things like that.
Do we look like super weird going out that gate, or?
You might.
Oh yeah, the guy at the.
You might.
The guy walking with the black staff, the mask.
And you got to think about it too. Is these guards? They might not necessarily work here every single day, but a lot of them might recognize most of the people that go through here because this is a lower. When it comes to traffic, there's probably a lot less traffic through this gate. And most of the traffic is probably coming and going pretty much every day because this is what these guys do for a living.
Shoot.
You don't think they would pay much mind, Lachlan, but the fact that you guys don't necessarily look like fishermen?
Then I want to look like an immigrant fisherman halfling.
Okay. Excellent.
Where are you immigrating from?
That's really specific.
It's like I want to rube clothes. Like I'm from the middle of nowhere. It's like, oh, here in gonna really get the best fish. Oh,
What's your accent? Is it Italian?
It's Italian accent. Okay, yeah. So you look like you guys watch as Lachlan's his form transforms with some cantations and some movements of his fingers, as he is now in disguise of a halfling that looks, perhaps more like a fisherman.
And these are my bodyguards.
You'll see me trying to put on the hat of disguise onto Molfin's head.
Okay. We'll just say you do, but Molfin is like he knows that you're. It's like somebody just slapped a hat on you, Molfin. I think
Molfin just leaves it sitting there.
Just sitting on your head. Yeah. He doesn't have to activate it.
Oh crap!
He just looks like he's wearing a witch's hat now with a shroud on his head.
But congratulations, you've made him stand out more.
I would like to put on my humble clothes that I'm supposed to be wearing as a cleric of Vilmater instead of shiny armor.
Okay.
And I will also be part of the immigrant group that Lachlan is from.
Okay.
I'm half elven part of that though.
Okay. Is Brock going with you guys?
Yeah, why not? He looks kind of piratey anyway.
I would imagine Brock could, give us some street cred. He's a docks hauling crates guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He finds an empty crate on his way, and he just kind of picks it up and he starts carrying it.
Nice.
You know how to play.
Molfin can see everybody seems to be really concerned about hiding here, right?
No, Ashlyn isn't. She's a
I
sailor.
mean, Lachlan is.
Yeah, it just seems like people are trying to take necessary precautions, maybe to not draw attention to themselves.
Molfin will look around. About how far from the gate are we?
Just a little while away.
No.
Yeah.
It's gonna like Back to the Future fire.
Yeah.
Molfin looks at Lachlan and Diana and just says, "Toodaloo."
Oh.
Greater
invisibility. Molfin is.
What makes it greater?
He can cast an attack without breaking it. Yep.
What?
That's what greater invisibility does. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
He is invisible for up to 1 minute.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So
Look at this last-
and with your disguises and everything, was Callista doing anything special, or is she just keeping herself the way she is?
Yep.
Nope. Okay.
Yeah.
The guards cast a glance, but these particular ones don't look like they're in much. Yeah, you kind of do that. One kind of nods at you, Lachlan, as you move on by. It's just maybe
Wish me luck.
Maybe you hired and just went into town and hired a couple individuals to help you out. You head out onto a beachy area out here, and you can see there's a lot of boats far off into the waters. There's also a lot of boats just parked on the shore. It looks like mainly 4-person rowboats. And some of them are it'd be 6, including Dorn. As you guys are looking through, it looks like a couple of them are tied off to large posts that are stuck into the sandy beach ground.
I'll look for the harbor master real quick.
What's that?
I'll look for the harbor master real quick.
There doesn't seem to be one. It's kind of just... There's not really much when it comes to, like, people guarding this area. It's just the boats are here. It almost seems like they don't really seem much of a threat here. It's strange.
Okay, is there anyone close by to us?
It looks like there are a couple fishermen undoing one of the boats, getting ready to take it out.
I'm like following her, like she knows where,
Okay.
I'll go up to one of them and say, "Who owns the 6-seaters?"
6-seater.
Yeah, the rowboats.
There's a few 6-seaters out there I think you can purchase, but
No, I just want to rent it for maybe a
wait,
day or something.
You want to rent one?
Yeah, can I give you a handful of gold and we'll just call it that I'll bring it back?
How much gold?
I'll give you 5 gold.
5 gold.
I'll bring him back after the day.
Okay. Sounds like a deal.
Okay.
You watch as he stops. He goes over to his other partner who's helping him untie this 4-seater boat. He's like, He starts whispering in the guy's ear. The guy's like, he looks like he's contemplating receiving the conversation. And then his eyes get wide a little bit. And then they start to walk backwards a little bit to another boat, which looks like a much longer 6-seater boat. And they start untying it and getting it ready. And they both start to pull it, and they start pulling it across the sand. I think you guys might have a better time of getting this to the water.
Okay. How far away are we from the water?
Not far. 30 feet.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, you guys have acquired a boat. These two guys kind of look at each other. One pockets the money, and they just walk off the beach back towards the west gate.
Can I tell that they're being sketchy?
Go ahead and make an insight check.
He didn't own this.
Can I get in on this too?
Yeah, you can, or one can help him for advantage.
Nobody trusts me.
Ooh.
These guys are so polite.
I look after them, They didn't even know this.
Thanks, guys.
Diana, that is totally not their boat. And Callista, Insight Bot is just kind of disappointed in what he's seeing. He's just like, just shaking his head back and forth.
Thank you, friends.
Oh no! In my Italian.
Getting quick. They didn't own this boat. Ashlyn just knows this by the end of this transaction. So we got to steal this boat and bring it back by tomorrow.
I don't like that. It gives me so much anxiety. Diana goes and has a panic attack in the back.
Did I intercept them as they're walking away?
Yeah, you could. It seems like they're walking a little hastily towards the gate as you approach.
Either give us a boat that's actually yours, or give my friend her money back.
One of them kind of stops in his tracks. What do you mean, give you a boat that is ours? That is one of our boats. It's one of our vessels.
Don't. No. Don't. Do I look like an idiot to you?
One of them kind of looks at the other. The other one looks back at you. Well, of
I
course.
light my hands on fire.
Oh, of course not. Of course not. Ma'am, what are you doing to your hand?
I snuff out the flame and hold out my hand for the money.
He reaches into his pocket. He grabs 2 gold and sets it into your hand. Oh, all right. And he reaches back in and puts the other 3 down. Listen, we only have a 4-seater boat. I'll rent it to you, but it's only a 4-seater. If you promise not to do that fiery thing with your hand, I'll take some of the cost down.
Do I believe him that he actually has a 4-seater?
Make an insight check.
Oh my god!
Yes.
Can Diana help?
Yeah. You think that's his boat?
I give him 1 gold back and kind of motion him to march.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please bring it back in one piece. Okay. At least make sure there's no big dents or cracks in the hull. I need it to stay nice. Please.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For your honesty.
Yes, ma'am.
I hand Ashlyn back the 4 gold.
All right.
Thank you.
Don't mess with Callista when she's had a bad day.
So now you have a rented 4-seater rowboat, and you have 6 people.
The map.
I can swim if we need to.
I can walk on water.
I'm small.
Yo, could Molfin and Lachlan
The small ones
take
can
one seat?
Okay.
Put Lachlan and Molfin on Diana and Ashlyn's lap.
You know, you guys with 2 gnomes, you could probably risk it.
It's like Oregon Trail.
I will turn.
You're dead.
I will turn into a killer whale and take some rope and basically become like a speedboat in this little tugboat, like a tugboat.
So you're gonna push the rowboat as a killer whale?
I'm gonna pull them behind me.
Nice. I love this.
We have to pretend to be rowing so it's not obvious.
I don't care. They saw that I don't mean that I'm done with their shit. So I don't care.
There's just these 2 gnomes rowing super aggressively. They're like,
Molfin apparently is sitting on Diana's lap, so...
Yeah.
I'm running behind the boat.
And yeah, about this time, Molfin, your greater invisibility would have been worn out after that minute of concentration. So you guys are all on the boat. Callista is pulling you as a massive killer whale. And you guys are, at the very beginning, these waves are pretty rough, so it's kind of jolting you up as the killer whale kind of takes to the water. And you start to head south, Callista, through the cold waters just outside of Waterdeep. And eventually, as you are moving down, you guys can see the wall above. It's almost like the beach stops after the west gate, and it's like a steep cliffside with a stone wall that kind of surrounds the top. You can start to see under mountain in the distance, and you can see the griffin sculpture with this large tower on top of the mountain. And then you start to see some openings to your left. And Callista, you start guiding the boat towards that spot. It looks like there are 3 different caves that go into Under Mountain. And is there anything you guys would be doing at this point, or just kind of riding along, seeing where Callista's pulling you?
Did they tell us about multiple caves?
I think Aldoc mentioned something about taking the left cave. I think is what he boiled it down to, or I think he did say something specific. I cannot remember exactly.
Pass where the fishermen do the work outside the west gate. Take a small boat or vessel, where the rocks appear up in the water. Follow the largest one to the right.
Largest one to the right. That was it.
It'll lead you to a lock.
Okay.
No longer works.
Okay. So I assume you would have told Callista that.
You don't work.
Yeah. But Callista makes her way past some of these large rocks. And because Callista is pulling the boat, you think this would be a really difficult thing? Like Ashlyn, knowing how hard it is to control a boat through these waves, this would have been extremely difficult to do if you didn't have a killer whale pulling you through them. So that is
level 10 druid.
Definitely a big score on the level 10 druid department. As you make your way towards the largest cave, it gets extremely dark as you make your way under into this cliffside, and the cave starts to just get dark all around you.
I will cast light.
Okay, Diana, cast light.
I'm using my echolocation underneath.
Okay, yeah. Wow. And Callista, it's still deep enough that you can swim as a killer whale in here. You're not sure how long that's going to last, depending on how far this goes. But these caves seem to move back and forth. The water seems to get a little bit more still the farther under the actual cave you get. As you continue to move on, everybody has a passive perception of over a 10, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. You all start to sense and notice movement coming from the cave roof, the ceiling of the cave.
Oh no.
It reminds you of a large bird flapping its wings.
Oh, have we seen this? Was it that thing that was in the other thinging? You know, where we got the thing.
What?
The what?
We dealt with this, yeah.
Okay.
Have we dealt with this before?
I'm not sure. You're not sure. It can remind you of things that have happened before, but
It reminds me of when we were in the dark world, the Underdark thing, the Darkner, the thing with the shroud in it, and the gems. We were in that hallway, and there were some movementies there too.
okay. About this time where you're looking up, you guys hear this terrible sound. It sounds like the mix of a screech and a growl. And then you look up above, and it's almost as if it's kind of dive bombing towards you. It looks like a manta ray. And it has this terrible demon face. Because you guys saw it coming, it was trying to surprise you, so we're gonna roll initiative right now, as it failed to surprise you. So you guys can go ahead and roll initiative, because this thing is dive bombing towards all of you.
Oh my word! I rolled a 0!
Well, Molfin had a plan to help, but that 7 ain't gonna help.
What do I do with my 0? Oh, what's that? Bloop, I'm in the water now.
All right.
Hey, wow.
So
I
we
get to go fourth.
got a 23 for Lachlan.
Yeah.
Lachlan, would you go ahead and roll initiative for Brock?
Absolutely.
I think you have access to a sheet.
Yeah, I've got Brock. I certainly do.
21 for
Brock
Ashlyn.
is gonna do initiative.
We've got a.
I get to go fifth.
Oh no.
I get the last.
Okay. Then we have 7.1 no 14 for Brock. Then after the 14 is a 7.14 for Molfin. And then I believe Callista with a 5 and Diana with a 0 initiative again. I think this is just starting to become a thing.
Pay attention.
You've got the whole Pike syndrome going on from Critical Role.
I am just too busy seeing the best in people, okay?
All right, Lachlan, you go first. You see this thing starting to descend upon you. It's about 30 feet above your head, and it looks ferocious. It has these really nasty pointed teeth, these beaming red eyes, absent of iris or pupil. Just these, just flat red
and is
eyes.
this the only thing I see coming down from the roof?
Only thing you see. It's large though. It's a pretty big, like it's larger than a real manta ray. I mean, flying down at you.
And I've never seen anything like this before.
I don't think you would have.
I don't think I would have. Okay. I'm gonna shoot first, ask questions later.
Okay.
Boom! It'll be a 17.
17 hits. You can roll your damage.
Yay!
7 damage.
7 damage. Nice. All right. So an arrow goes flying into the it has this hunched shoulder area over its head that has these just little bumps that go in a row back out. It looks exactly like a manta ray with this really nasty face. And you shoot an arrow, stick an arrow right into its back. Anything else?
That's it.
That's it. Turn. All right, Ashlyn, you are up. Still about 30 feet above you.
I'll shoot my longbow at it.
Okay.
Twice, so that probably won't hit.
A 14 hits.
Oh. Longbow. 6
Wow.
6 points of damage? Nice.
And then, I'm gonna hit it again with my longbow, hopefully.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
That one misses as you this time it shifts its direction just slightly and your arrow just flies right underneath one of its large they're not really wings. I don't know what you call those things on the side of a manta ray, but it's
fins.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna then use my bonus action just to switch back to my quarterstaff or something like that. I don't know if that's a bonus action.
Okay. What was that again?
Just to switch from my bow to my quarterstaff.
Oh yeah, you can do that. Sure. Bow to quarterstaff?
Yeah, that's
perfect.
That's it.
Sorry guys, I just had to read something very quickly.
Okay, good. I thought your camera froze and we were just all...
Yeah, that usually happens, doesn't it?
Yeah. Okay, it's just going to dive bomb, and it's going to attack one of you.
No. Oh, no.
So, here it goes.
What's the thing that I do? Reaction. Warning flare.
It is actually going to attack Diana. So the warding flare might be good. So that gives it disadvantage on its attack?
Yeah.
Okay, so as it's coming down to looks like to bite into Diana, this flashing light shines from the end of Diana's hand as she tries to ward off this attack. So disadvantage makes that attack...
The power of Christ compels you.
Is a 17 good enough to hit you, Diana?
A 15 is good enough to hit me.
Alright, so that will hit you.
Some better armor.
We really do.
Yeah.
So it
We
bites.
should do that while we're like in
We're
Waterdeep or
rich.
something.
We can afford
Yeah.
plate mail.
Yeah.
We can afford plate mail.
We should really get you some nice armor.
Okay, you need to go ahead and make a... No, you take 10 points of piercing damage from the bite.
What?
10 points of piercing damage as the teeth sink into your shoulder. And, I need you... Oh, actually, you feel the wings of this creature wrap around your body.
No.
As it's biting you.
Damn, cloakers. It's a cloaker, right?
And
So
it actually has you wrapped up, and you are now blinded and unable to breathe.
Oh my god!
And that bright light that she cast out all of a sudden just like vanishes as she casts that.
Teacher, I have a question.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
How
Yes.
many total points of damage did I take? Was it
10.
10? Okay.
Mm-hmm. You're 10 points, but now you are blinded
And suffocating.
Yes.
Woo, asphyxiation.
And you guys are all watching this in horror as this thing just bit Diana and now is latched onto her. And just wrapped her up, kind of like just being wrapped up into a sleeping bag or something like that. Cool. That's its turn. Brock is up.
All right.
Brock, I don't know. What would Brock do? He's going to try to attempt to get the creature off of Diana. He's going to take his sword out and he's going to kind of like, almost like, use it as a crowbar.
A viper strike, if you will.
A viper strike. So he's going to make a strength check contested against the creatures. So could you roll a strength check, Lachlan, for Brock?
Absolutely.
And I'll roll for the creature to see if he can do it.
He didn't quite roll so well.
He's trying to pry the creature off. Diana, you can feel someone's trying to help you from inside, but Brock is unable to get the creature off.
Brock, try harder!
And that would be Brock's like, hey, guys, it's Connor, come on, we gotta get this thing off of her. And then it brings us to Molfin.
Molfin looking at this and sort of chuckling to himself, given Diana's recent comments about him. Is Callista still pulling us at a pretty good clip?
Yeah, you guys are still moving. Mm-hmm.
Molfin's gonna, it's sort of unsteady as he can with the boat moving around. Stand up, look at the thing, pick up the Staff of Power, pick it up, and slam it once on the bottom of the boat.
Okay.
And cast Hold Monster at the creature.
Hold Monster. Okay. Target must succeed on a Wisdom saving throw or be paralyzed for the duration. Yeah, it is held. I rolled a natural 1.
Okay, so it is now...
It is now paralyzed and wrapped around Diana.
So it can't move, and I cannot break my bonds. And I continue to suffocate.
Hold on, let's see. What is paralyzed mean? It's incapacitated, so would that stop the grapple or no? I don't know. I don't know the creature, so...
Does incapacitated stop the grapple? Let's see.
I mean, they fail strength saving? Oh, saving throws.
It says in the rules that it can only be detached if it chooses to or another creature succeeds in getting it off of her. So
he's like a big heavy, like...
Yeah, it's basically just wrapped around and paralyzed would make him unable to move. So it's kind of like... Imagine this thing turned to stone wrapped around Diana. You know, it would stay almost like that paralysis kind of state where it's just wrapped around her.
Wonderful.
Still suffocating.
Yeah.
Don't die.
It's okay. Thank you, Molfin, for trying.
Anything else you would do, Molfin, on your turn?
Sort of just rub the shroud a little bit where his beard is underneath it and just sort of... I thought that would work. Next, fireballs.
Callista, you're still pulling the boat, but you did notice, because your perception was higher enough, that there is a creature that descended upon the boat behind you.
Is it on the boat?
It is on the boat. It's on the boat on Diana.
Is there any way for me to like try to jump up without breaking the boat and try to bite it? Like, is its tail hanging off the edge or something? Bite it?
You can certainly try, but keep in mind you are a killer whale. It's probably about the size of this boat.
Oh no!
Oh no! Don't capsize us.
I don't want to capsize you. I just want to try and bite a spare limb.
It will be very difficult. She's pondering. She's pondering.
I am
I
pondering.
love it when Callista ponders.
Lightning bolt it, just electrocute it to death.
I don't think she
Yeah,
can
I'm gonna
lightning bolt
try to
as.
bite it.
I don't think she can lightning bolt as a
No, I
massive
can't.
sea creature.
I'm gonna try to bite it.
All right. So go ahead and make an attack roll. You do have advantage because the creature is paralyzed. So you can make your attack, and then we'll determine what happens to the rest of the boat and the crew afterwards.
Okay.
Oh no!
Dex save. Maybe they're dex.
Yes, that will definitely strike the creature. Now, does incapacitated automatically make it a critical hit?
Paralyzed does if it's within 5 feet.
Yes.
Does it?
Because it's considered paralyzed.
Yeah,
So it's
any
a
attack
crit?
that hits the creature is a critical.
Critical hit.
If the attack
Yep.
is within
Oh.
5 feet.
So your bite
Okay.
is a crit against this creature as you chomp into it. Yep. That's what I was pretty sure that something. It's kind of like a coup de grace kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
It can't move, so
Okay.
yeah, you definitely leap out of the water. And dude, wow!
What?
Are you serious?
10d6?
5d6 doubled, bitch.
Yeah.
That is amazing. I'm not a math person. I gotta get my calculator out here. Wow.
What happened to Diana?
Wow.
You just got swallowed by an orca.
Yes, you bit this thing. It cannot do any, like, it can't move. It seems like it makes some weird moan, but it can't really move or do anything. And you just see this black liquid start to flow from the bite marks as Callista is jumping through the air. This massive orca whale just leaping over top. Now, this is kind of free willy jump over the over the rocks as she's biting. So let's see if she makes it all the way over the boat or not. Whether so I would like you, Callista, as your whale form, make a dexterity. We're gonna call this just a dex check. You use your dexterity as your whale.
Okay, so it's just a straight roll. I'm just gonna roll dexterity through here and -1.
Oh boy.
9.
Oh. Callista jumps over. Her front flippers get over the boat after she bites this creature, and then as she looks down, she realizes my head is gonna make it, but my tail is gonna slam the boat. And her tail, I need everybody who's on the boat make a dexterity saving throw for me, please.
Oh,
wow.
boy, I'm
No
currently-
regrets.
Oh, Lachlan goes flying.
What? Wait. I think do I have advantage on these dexterity saving throws?
Yes.
Do
yes,
you?
because they're AOE's.
I'm grappled. What do I do?
You have disadvantage on this check.
Okay. It felt like I was very dexterous to begin with.
Oh, my evasion means I'll only take half damage.
Yeah, but I think
Okay.
that's only on AoE, and this technically isn't an AoE. I don't think.
Okay.
It's just
Spell damage. What did they say to make you allow? You're subjected to an effect that allows you. I would be okay with evasion on this. I would allow you to do it.
Okay.
Brock got a 10.
Rock got a 10. Everyone is thrown off the boat except for Molfin. Molfin is the only one who's remaining on the boat. Now, here's the thing, Diana. You're wrapped up in a cloaker that cannot move. So as you fall into the water, you begin to sink, and you still can't breathe anyway because you're wrapped up, and now you feel the cold water starting to flow in some of the areas between.
No!
And Callista, as soon as you hit the water, you feel your tail hit the boat, and it basically catapults everybody up into the air, except for Molfin. Somehow Molfin was able to grasp something at the last second, and he almost went flying, but he he is still in the boat as it rocks back and forth wickedly. Oh my goodness.
I'm going to use the rest of my movement to follow Diana and the creature wherever they fell.
Okay, sounds great. Yeah, you just kind of swing around in a circle. You can see them slowly starting to drift down. It's dark, but you can still see. Ashlyn, Lachlan, the water is tremendously cold in here. As you're just feeling this cold water, the bubbles flowing out from your mouth as you're underwater. Diana, it's your turn.
I cast Banishment on the thingamabob.
Is banishment... does it have a verbal component to it?
Oh!
It does.
It does, and you're unable to move your arms because you're wrapped up under it, so you are unable to cast this spell.
Son of a bitch. Never mind then. I won't cast that. Unless I already cut it, and then it's like already done. Is it already done? Did I already cut it?
No. We'll retcon that. No, that's fine.
Okay,
you can have something else.
I don't want to retcon it. I was, you know what? Diana was banking on that being a working thing, but if she tries to do it and then her arms don't move, I feel like it'd be unfair to retcon it.
You could still try to cast it if that's what Diana would do in that particular situation. You could always just try to muscle your way out of it.
Yeah.
Like try to wiggle yourself free. That's always an option. Technically, you could still use. I don't think you're considered grappled.
I'm just. What am I? I'm restrained.
Well, you would be grappled. You wouldn't be restrained, I guess, because your feet are still kind of dangling out the bottom. But
can I use my feet?
you could kick it. You could try to pry it off. Kick it. But you could try to. Yeah, there's other options if you have any other spells that you'd like to use. Well, other spells that don't require a vocal.
Okay, then let me see. I don't.
So she can't do verbal?
Yeah, she can't do verbal.
Okay, because Death Ward is verbal.
All of my spells are verbal. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
and you're underwater too, so even if you could breathe, you'd be...
Verbal. I'm just banking on everything about a cleric being verbal because they pray for their for their stuff.
They do a lot of praying for spells, yes.
Then in that case, I will just wiggle really hard and try to break my grapple.
This creature will have disadvantage on its check because it is paralyzed. So, or actually, well, I think it gives. Does it give Molfin? Does that give Diana advantage, or does it give the creature disadvantage? I guess it doesn't really matter technically, but
it doesn't say either way. It says creature fails strength and dexterity saving throws. Attack rolls have advantage.
Okay.
And any attack that hits is a crit.
Okay.
Doesn't say anything about
Diana, I'll give you advantage. So you're gonna make a strength. It can be athletics if you want, contested by the creature's roll.
Where's
I'm gonna gift her my nat 20.
You're gonna gift her the nat 20.
Oh.
So, Diana, you begin to remember your conversation with Ashlyn in the morning about, and you're like, no, I've got to help Ashlyn get a man. And it's that
I can't die here.
that inspiration just flows through you, and you just go, ugh, you push out from this thing, and the creature's starts to unfold just the slightest bit, and you're able to squeeze out. You are freed from being wrapped up by this creature.
I have to get her laid. No, I'm kidding.
Ashlyn uses her nat 20. yeah, immediately you try to yell out, cold water goes in your mouth. Oh my
She
goodness.
needs love. I want her to recall when she made me the first mate, and because she was captain and I'm the first mate, and I want to pop up on and be like, I am the captain now.
Now, are
Captain of this mess.
you using your movement to swim away?
Yeah, sure. I'll use my movement to swim away.
Okay, you have enough movement. You could get to the top surface of the water.
Ooh, I swim to the top. Woohoo!
Okay, so you break free from the surface of the water. Take a deep breath as the cold salt water just runs down your face, and we go to the top of the round with Lachlan. Lachlan,
All right.
you're splashing in some cold water.
And our only source of threat is sinking deep.
So it's sinking. Yes, seems to be sinking.
All right, then I'm just gonna use my movement, my cutting action, my action, just to kind of like dash through the water to get back on the boat.
Oh yeah, easily done. You're easily able to get back on the boat. Molfin's still sitting there.
Cramps! Good to see you. Let's get out of here. Where's everybody? End turn.
All right, Ashlyn, you're up. You're also in the water.
I wanted to know, how long you can hold your breath for. I can't find it on the.
It's like a long time. It's like
It's your Constitution modifier number of minutes, I think.
Yeah, it's whatever your Constitution modifier is, number of minutes, which is like in D&D terms a long time.
How far away is the thing from me, if I swim to it?
If you swim to it, probably about 20 feet.
Okay, I can move 25 because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
half my movement.
Yeah, you can swim up to it.
Alright, I'm gonna hit it.
Okay, I think underwater combat.
With this two-handed spear.
Two-handed spear.
Oh,
Yeah,
spear. Spear's probably good, right?
Spears are good underwater. Yes, so you will have regular attack rolls. You don't have disadvantage.
Which she'll have advantage because.
Oh, it's paralyzed anyway, so you have advantage.
she's
So
within
yes,
5 feet.
you strike it with a spear, sticking it into its back for another 6 points of damage.
It's a crit.
Oh yeah, it's a crit.
Within 5 feet.
Yep. So go ahead. You can roll 7 points of damage. Nice.
Alright, and I'll hit it again.
Okay.
She's like, ah!
She's just down there like skewering this thing with this
Wailing
spear
on
underneath
it,
the
yeah.
water.
Ooh, I actually crit.
You actually crit.
A crit.
A crit. So another 11 points.
And then I'm gonna look. I was so excited to go to Fight Club tonight. I added these. Punch to the face.
So that's
a big
that's
number.
your bonus action, the punch to the face.
Yeah.
That hits. That's also a crit. Okay.
Whoa!
Okay.
Oh wait, I got a credit.
Yeah.
Please describe how you mutilate this thing, Ashlyn.
I go down there and I'm seeking justice for Diana, and I just skewer it, like, and in my mind I'm like, you're like sushi or weird flying sushi, and I just like skewer it, and then I like punch it twice to its ugly face,
Nice.
and then I go back up.
And the thing just seems to be clouded in this black murkiness of its own blood as it just sits there for a moment and keeps drifting down into the murky water. And
I
Ashlyn
took care of it.
breaks his.
It's dead. Let me on the boat.
Does anyone see those bubbles popping up from under there? What if they're okay?
Brock like gets up over on the edge of the boat. He's like, that water is cold, and he just slowly gets back.
Why did you all jump off the boat? Couldn't you have just stayed up here with me?
Cramps.
And just about that time, Diana, Lachlan, everybody notices on the side of the boat, there's this big crack in the wood in this dented area on the side of the boat where Callista's tail smacked the side of the boat. It doesn't look like it's going to take on water or anything like that.
It's just
but the guys that you rented it from are really going to be pissed.
You better find some gold wherever we're going.
All right, so you guys are back on the boat, all sopping wet except for Molfin.
It's such a lovely little cruise, is it not? So, shall we continue on our way?
Let's do it.
Okay. So you guys keep and continue. Now, you guys get to a series of locks.
Okay.
And
Really? Are they handsome?
they don't compare to you, Lachlan. They look like Molfin. You would recognize these. Callista might know. Callista might know a little bit about what's going on. It seems like they're imbued with some kind of magical enchantments that make the locks run themselves. So when Callista pulls the boat into one of these locks, the doors magically close behind you. The water level descends probably about 10 or 15 feet. And then the doors at the bottom kind of open up. And it seems like you guys go through these series of magical locks that lower you down. Probably 5 to 6 different locks as you go through.
Cool.
So they keep on kind of lowering you down, and the magical doors are just working. They look very old, rusted at some points. Some of the doors have just barnacles and things like attached to them from where they're submerged underwater. And eventually you get to a place where it looks like the river just ends. And beyond it, you can see what looks like an old pulley system of some sort. It's attached to some kind of metal crane-looking contraption. But it looks broken. And it looks like it's been broken for quite some time. It seems like something that would pick up a vessel, maybe even a larger ship, and drop it down lower off the other side of where this river just ends. Have you guys ever seen those swimming pools that have like the false end?
Yeah.
Infinity pool.
The infinity pool, exactly.
Oh, no.
That's what this seems like. It's like there's a wall there, and the water just kind of trickles off, just barely off the edge.
That's pretty cool.
Where does it go?
Are you checking it out, Lachlan?
I am kind of like peering over. This looks scary.
As you peer over, it's almost like the water, it's not like falling down. It's just kind of like trickling down, and it looks like it descends. How far can you see? In the dark?
My dark vision is, I believe it is 60 feet.
Yeah, it just descends so far, it goes into darkness to you.
Guys!
Okay.
I put my hand in the water and I start like trying to like keep the boat from going.
Lachlan, as you were,
I'll help.
anybody can make a. Oh, Diana's making a perception check. Look around.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would have like tried to pull the boat back a bit and then come out of my killer whale farm.
Okay. Callista joins you guys back in her normal form, and Diana, you notice that it looks like somebody has done some kind of makeshift pulley system on the right side of this area, and it looks like there's some makeshift ropes attached to it, and it looks like it's made to move a smaller vessel, perhaps even a rowboat.
I don't know what those things do, but I'll point them out to Callista and Ashlyn to see if they know what they do.
Would I understand what they are, being water nautical knots or?
Go ahead and make a, let's call it intelligence, but I'll give you advantage because you are.
Oh, good.
Oh, that doesn't.
Yeah, you do. This looks like a rigging. It doesn't look like extremely sturdy per se, but it does look professionally done, like somebody who sails or knows how to do this, knows the right knots, knows how to attach these things. It looks like a pulley system that allows people to put their rowboats on this and lower themselves down.
I relay that to the group, so we can
Let's
lower
do it.
ourselves down.
Okay.
Okay.
So you guys.
Well, that's a jump, so.
Let's not jump.
Okay. So who are you guys relying on to attach the boat to this pulley system?
I would.
Ashley. Okay. All right.
I do have proficiency in navigational tools and water vehicles. I don't know if that
Okay, I'll give you advantage. Let's just call this dexterity and give yourself advantage on it, which should be good for you.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you think you've got it pretty well attached, and you start lowering the rowboat down. It's really squeaky. It's like as you're kind of like pulling this thing down. The rope looks a little. It's been a long time.
As you do that, I am gonna jump out of the boat.
You're jumping out of the boat?
Yeah, casting featherball.
Okay. As you're falling, you eventually start
Try to like, go alongside.
Yeah, you're going alongside. Eventually, Vloglan, you can start to see down, and the rest of you can see down that there is a river down here that continues on. And the boat, Ashlyn is able to gently set the boat down, detach it from the pulley system. And Lachlan, you feather fall right back into your seat. As the boat continues. This river has a nice flow to it. It seems to be moving itself pretty nicely as it heads further into Undermountain.
Okay.
And that's...
We're going deep.
You are. And you, after a few more turns, that's when you notice ahead of you, it seems like the river opens up into a large cavern.
Okay.
You can see a little bit of glowing light coming from the cavern, but not much. Appears to have a little bit of a green hue to it. And as you start to head that way, I need to change this music because you guys are in Undermountain now. Sounds like Waterdeep up here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to sound like Waterdeep.
Why am I picturing Tortuga?
So I'm going to go ahead and change you guys over to another map just to show you exactly what you see. It's not the best map in the world. And I know Twitch, I don't have this map on for you guys, but it's not really, it's just to give the players just an indication of what they're actually seeing.
I see all black.
I know you're gonna see all black for just a second until I reveal some of it. Can you see what I revealed?
Yep.
Excellent.
Yep.
Finally, I did something that worked. All right, so as you guys are making your way, you are coming from where the arrow is pointing out, where it says to the locks in the sea.
Okay.
And it seems like this river goes into an area, and you can see almost like an enormous fortress in front of you. You can see there are people along the tops of these battlemented walls. There seems to be several crossbows and ballistas attached to the top of these towers, several stories high, in different places. Seems like the people that you see are all shady-looking humans, couple bugbears, definitely a wide variety of interesting-looking people, as you see.
Is there a turtle?
You don't see any turtles, no.
Okay.
And it seems like the river goes to the right and to the left as you start to make your way into this area. It seems like the river kind of travels around the fortress.
Okay.
The top of actually to the right of this fortress, as you guys start to make the bend, you do notice that in this section where it says, let me reveal this area too. See where it says the number 9 in this lower corner?
Yeah.
That is almost like a stalagmite and a stalactite have grown down from the ceiling and up from the floor and have met in the middle.
Oh, that's cool.
And it looks like there are several windows, barred windows, in random locations throughout. It looks like some type of prison or dungeon area.
Let's start there.
Yeah.
And it looks as if there are docking points down here in the lower part as you come in, but it also looks like, do you see where these little X's are in the water to enter those docking points?
Yeah.
Those are like metal spears sticking out from the water. And the tops of them look almost like grappling hooks. Like if you drove a boat into that, it would mess up the hull and cause your boat to sink.
All right.
Oh, gosh.
Does John appear to be on the other docks?
From what you can see now, no. But you can either go to the left, or you can have your boat go to the right, or go to the left. The left would be the north, and then the right would be to the south. There's a way past that.
Are the figures reacting to us at all?
They're watching.
Okay, so they're aware, but they like.
They're aware, but that doesn't seem. It's almost like they've seen people travel this way before. Don't really seem to be reacting to you too much.
Okay.
A couple of them are at the crossbows and ballistas, but they're just watching.
Should we just head away from the prison a little, or the?
Or should we perhaps just ask them where to leave our vehicle?
Then we'll be noobs, and then they'll know that we're noobs, and then they'll probably kill us.
They could certainly try.
Oh, man.
Aldoc didn't tell us what way to go.
No.
How about we just ask?
Okay.
Are we close enough?
Yeah.
Molfin is going to look up at the group of them. Oi there, we come with items to sell.
Yeah.
Which way?
Pull your vessel up to the rear dock. Can hold it there for you.
Okay. Thank you.
The rear dock.
Molfin will give a little bow.
Which one is the rear dock?
One would assume in the back.
How do we get to north or south?
That's their booty dock.
South.
Yeah, which way is the rear?
One of them.
Yeah.
Behind it.
Okay.
It's almost like the guard. Like if you were saying that to the guard, he's kind of like ignoring you. It's like it's almost like it's obvious. He just turns around.
Okay. Which way do you want to go?
Now we're noobs.
Go south.
Okay, we'll go south.
So you guys head south, and as you're going around, you can see there's more of those towers. You can make your way past that natural pillar of creepy dungeness stuff. You can see that there's lots of towers in here that are creeping up over the outer walls.
Okay.
You make your way past, and eventually you do see a dock area to your right and to your left.
Both ways would have worked.
It seems as if I'm going to reveal most of this to you guys now, as you can see up to this far. It looks as if the rear docking area is a lot bigger than the front area. And these, I'm not sure what they're called, but these things that stick up from the water, this kind of metal, this gate, is not up in the back. So you could row your boat or drive your boat into this area to dock.
Let's row our boat there.
Okay.
Be nice and not suspicious with the giant orca.
Okay. As you guys are going by this first dock, go ahead and make perception checks for me.
Perception.
Wow, nice, Ashlyn. Nice, Diana.
Woo!
Ooh,
I see
Molfin.
all. Molfin ain't seen none.
Oh, I should have had advantage, not disadvantage. My bad.
You have advantage? Okay. Yeah,
Yep.
well, you definitely hear it too. You almost hear a strange whimpering coming from beyond this dock.
Hello, are you okay?
Just continue to hear whimpering. You don't really get a response.
I'm gonna go.
Oh, can I cast something?
You can? What was
Sorry.
that? Yeah.
So much for me.
Oh, goodness. I don't know. I will cast Detect Evil and Good? No. Ooh, wait, I take that back. I will cast Scrying.
You don't have to do that. I'm gonna get out of the boat and go look who it sued.
As you start casting a spell, Ashlyn's like, wait, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
No, wait.
Water walking.
Detect Evil and Good.
Okay, for the duration, you know if there is an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet of you. Let me double check something really quick.
I already know that Molfin is gonna ping like a freaking
I'm not aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead.
whatever's on your head, be.
Oh, okay, the shroud may have been desecrated.
Then the creature instantly you the place object within 30 feet of spell. Well, within 30 feet of you. I'm not sure those are considered those. No.
What?
No, you don't sense any of that with your spell.
Okay.
He's like, not
Yeah.
within 30 feet.
Not within 30 feet of you.
It lasts for 10 minutes, so I will walk with Ashlyn as she walks up.
Okay, so are you guys gonna
You
part?
can't
Are you gonna?
Because you can't water walk.
Oh, are you just gonna walk across the water? Is that what you're gonna do?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if you were pulling the boat up to that dock or
Oh.
if you.
No, I was gonna water walk before we pulled up there. So.
Okay,
whatever.
you're the only one that's proficient with driving this boat. Are you gonna leave them?
Oh.
And-
I'll move the boat up to the dock area.
Okay, so you drive it up to the dock area, hearing this some whimpering and moaning coming from this little looks like a dark cave area as it opens up. You gonna head in?
I can't see in from where I am.
No, yeah, you can see in a little bit. It seems like you see like a foot peeking out from the left side of the cave. It's like a foot.
Humanoid or furry or big or.
It looks humanoid, but it looks like it's covered in scales.
I'm gonna.
And the floor is definitely damp with some water.
Okay, I'm gonna go in.
Okay.
After I pull the boat a shortcut.
As you're starting to kind of slowly approach this foot that you see, you can see it has claws on the end of it, and they're webbed. As you approach, Diana, you're still not.
I go with her.
Okay, Diana's going with. You guys turn around the corner, and you notice that there is sitting on the floor, whimpering, kind of, and holding with two hands holding his belly, is a familiar creature. You've seen these before. It is a fish-like humanoid called a Kuatoa.
Were those the hook guys?
The guys that you guys remember you fought them when they were serving in a terrible aberration under Yartar.
I
But
mentioned them twice.
it seems like there's just one sitting here, and he's just holding his stomach.
But he
And
was nice,
go ahead and make let's call it intelligence checks, Diana and Ashlyn.
Yeah, but it was, and I'm so bad at intelligence.
Yeah.
Oh,
Actually, that's actually a really good roll for Ashlyn.
That is a pretty good roll for Ashley.
Oh, where is it? Intelligence. Oh, it's a check, not a thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
just-
there it is.
Oh,
19.
Diana, he looks famished. He looks hungry.
Oh. Do I know what these creatures eat?
I'm just gonna. I'm just gonna get out my pack and show him some rations and throw them at him.
Oh, instantly, as soon as you throw the rations down, he grabs them and just starts stuffing his face quickly. It's almost like he devours the rations in less than a minute. It's like, and just
Eats
starts
the packaging.
just eats everything and he's just devouring.
Are you okay? You're hurt, obviously.
Well, he doesn't look hurt. Just looked hungry.
Okay. Are you okay? Why are you down here?
He looks at you and his head cocks to the side just the slightest bit.
Oh, no.
Can I try that in Celestial, maybe?
Sure. He looks at you. Cocks his head to the other side.
Infernal.
He looks at you.
Does he understand Infernal?
You see him hold out his hands. He's got very humanoid looking hands, a little bit of webbing in between the fingers. And he just waves at you a little bit like this, and then just holds one finger up and just starts bobbing it to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then he starts wandering a little bit towards the dock. And you guys all see this Kuatoa walk out onto the dock, kind of watching all you parked at the boat.
I just know my party. I run up in front of him and I'm like, wait.
Yeah, I run up and I say, he's.
I
No.
won't shoot.
You won't shoot?
Does Molfin So as Molfin sees this thing walking past,
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
No, but I gave you the thumbs up.
he's going to cast Comprehend Languages
Oh, good.
from the Shroud of Souls.
Okay, and I believe that makes you make a check, right?
No, because it's at will. It doesn't.
Oh,
use
it's the at will.
charge.
You're right. It doesn't use the charge. Dang it. All right, comprehend languages. So you can understand. You can.
Any spoken language I hear.
Okay. Can you?
So Molfin is going to sort of follow along.
Can you speak it or just understand it? Okay.
Understand it or reading it?
Yeah. As you're coming out, you just hear him say, "Wait here. I'll be back. Reward for you," and points to Ashlyn.
Molfin will relay that to the group.
Okay.
Okay. And you watch as he just dives off of the dock, splashes into the cold water, and disappears under the surface.
Do you think the reward is one of those hook things?
Maybe
Or an army of them to come
fix our
slay
boat.
us.
No, he seems fine. We've got to do that insight check thing that we should start doing a lot more. My god. That would be so stupid.
Calista!
Is anyone watching Monday nights yet? Because Monday nights, we all dumb as shit. We don't insight check nobody. It's not like we've got a show in the channel. Guys.
As you guys are having this conversation, a couple minutes pass, but you stay.
Molfin's
You wait.
moving away from the group a little bit, sort of spreading out in case.
Yeah, so is Callista. She's kind of like keeping point, like keeping everyone in her eyesight, but
Okay. Excellent.
setting off a bit.
Yeah.
Molfin is
I'm
heading
right
more
up in
towards
water.
the interior, towards like he's heading in.
Yeah, the smell of this place is awful, really. It's imagine salt water, a fishy smell. I mean, it's just not the best place smelling wise and even looking.
She's at the water with like rations, like, here, come back.
Oh, you got more rations out?
Yeah,
Okay.
more rations.
So about that time, you see the water start to bubble in your area, and all of a sudden, the same, what you assume to be the same Kuatoa face pops out, and he reaches for the dock and pulls himself up, and he's got something tucked underneath his arm, and he reaches underneath the arm, and it's something that's kind of folded up, and he holds both hands out to you, and it looks like he's just kind of waving them to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now I bow my head and thank you, and I give him more rations.
Okay. Oh, he takes those and he just stuffs his face again. Like you can see that he's just extremely happy to have something to eat. And then he kind of just gives you a little bow and turns around and dives off the dock and splashes into the water.
Okay.
Swims
And
into the
is it-
deep.
You said it was parchment?
It's something that looks like it's folded up. Just something wrapped
that
up.
looks like it's-
Yeah.
Okay, I'll unwrap it.
Wrap it.
slowly.
It looks like a cloak.
A cloak.
Yeah, it's a cloak. It has a really weird, almost like cartilage feel to it. The hood of it has these weird like little prongs that stick out on the tops of it, just small little prongs, and it has it's kind of weird. It has a pointed tail at the bottom of it.
Ooh.
Does
Do
Molfin
I recognize that?
Yeah, I think
It does-
Molfin and
Who has the cloak of the Manta Ray?
Moby.
Moby did. Moby owned one of these.
Molfin.
And it looks,
wouldn't have
yep,
known that.
and it looks exactly like the one Moby
Did you
had.
get it from Moby? Is it the same one?
You don't know.
Do the
Oh my
history check.
You're so bad.
Lore and legends. Legends.
Ashlyn, I have not yet had the time to study that spell. It's not one I can perform today.
Okay. Well, when you can learn lore and legends, League of Legends. I don't know. Can
Did
you
you say
tell me
Legend lore.
what
You
this
want to know the lore and legend of that thing?
Yeah.
I got you. I cast it. Legend lore.
You're gonna cast it?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 6 levels.
Okay. You do know that this is, in fact, a Cloak of the Manta Ray. It allows you to be able to swim quickly underwater and to breathe underwater. when you use an action to put the hood up. This is not tied to Moby, unfortunately. This is actually an item that these small band of Kuatoa had for a little while, and it just so happened to be in this one's possession. And you did a good deed and helped him out when he needed it, and he thought it would be appropriate to give it as a gift to you.
Aww. That was so nice. Okay. I'm not attuned to anything else. I'm attuned to 2 other things, so I'll on for now.
Which, Ashlyn, you were there for the Yartar thing, I believe. Yes, you were there. Which, this kind of awakens you and Diana both to that these creatures, not necessarily just are not evil just in their own right, but perhaps that first experience that you had with these creatures was ones that might have been corrupted by what was happening in Yartar.
Oh, okay.
So,
like humans,
just
you know?
like some bad, some good. You're right.
Gnomes.
Awesome. So you guys make your way into the docking area. You can see there's already a couple of other boats docked there. Not many, just a couple small rowboats. It looks like one has been docked there for a long time. It's got stuff growing on it, barnacles and things. A couple crabs just like crawling off the side of it. And you guys make your way. There are a couple humans, and I don't know if any of you would have experience with these guys before, but you see they look like dwarves, but they have deep blackish gray skin, and their beards are bright white.
What?
And their eyes, they look as if their eyes look kind of absent of a lot of detail until you get close enough to see them, and it's almost like they have white eyes from far away, but as you get closer you can see that they do have some type of iris, but it's just so light that you can barely tell that it's there. Looks like they're armed to the teeth. They're all carrying weapons, swords, warhammers, all kinds of stuff. It looks like there's easily probably 70 humans in different areas of this fortress. Maybe about 10 of these dark dwarves. And they're all moving about, engaging in conversations. It looks like there are several others just kind of moving around doing their thing. This looks like some kind of barracks of some type.
Shall we find the market?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you guys are inside this fortress. This building number 5 is like a 3-story stone structure. You can see it might be sort of like the main barracks area where troops have rooms. A lot of these numbered structures seem to house these individuals. One of the darker dwarves kind of approaches you guys as you're setting up and state your business.
I come seeking to make purchases and perhaps sell items that would not be taken lightly upstairs.
Fair enough. He smiles kind of at you, Molfin. Take the bridge to the north. Enjoy.
Molfin give a little bow. To the north, then.
Okay.
Lachlan, Ashlyn, are you guys still wearing your rings?
Oh, we took them off.
Put a while ago that we took them
Okay.
off.
Yeah, Ashlyn told us, and Brock too.
Okay.
Told us to
take off your rings. Okay. Excellent.
Sometimes snakes have to camouflage, you know.
Camouflage. Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah. So you guys make your way. You see the number 2 to the north. You guys make your way through those. This gate is currently open, and you guys make your way across this bridge that leads you to the town of Skullport.
Wow.
And I'm gonna take you guys over to the next Skullport map and show you where you guys end up. Let me. You guys see the lower level here?
Yeah.
You open up, and it looks like to your left there's a large market area. It looks like every one of the market places are closed. It looks like most of the wooden tables and benches that have been built to house marketing materials have been abandoned. But it looks like, you see where the number 12 is on your map? You see a window in that building, and there's like a candlelight glow coming from that structure.
Did we come here on a holiday?
Is it nighttime?
I just head towards there.
The ceiling is completely covered in stalactites, and you notice when you guys look at this place, it's built on 3 levels. There is a lower street, and then there's a middle street, and the streets in the upper levels are made from wooden planks. It's almost like docks that go in throughout the buildings. It's almost like, imagine a tiered wedding cake. It's kind of like you have this lower part of the city, then a medium part, and there's a top layer at the very top.
Okay.
And you can find areas that, if you see, it says to middle Skullport, those stairs kind of lead you up to that second level.
So we're in the lowest level.
You are in the lowest level currently, yes.
One would assume the more expensive items would be higher up, but starting down here can't hurt. And Molfin's going to follow Callisto over towards the light.
Okay. You guys approach a closed wooden door. Kind of a dilapidated building of some sorts. Looks like it's made of a mix of wood and stone.
Does it look like it's open?
I mean, it appears to be. There's light coming from inside.
I'll knock.
Okay, you knock. And as you knock, the door almost just opens itself a little bit as the force of your knock. Doesn't seem like this door latches very well. Callista, and when you do that and the door opens a little bit, you start to hear this weird moaning, like
Does it sound like sleeping?
With who?
Would this be insight or perception?
Does Molfin recognize this, thinking back to Orange Peel?
Sounds like Orange Peel.
Molfin's going to pull Callisto away. Let us not forget our friend Orange Peel.
Oh no.
Yeah,
He pulls the door to a little bit.
you've heard this before. It came from a familiar friend, a zombie Orange Peel.
Perhaps heading upstairs would be best.
Alright.
Then you hear.
Wait.
Then you hear. Who's there? Come in.
Hello?
Hello?
I push the door open a little bit.
Oh, and then immediately from within, you see an old woman. Long green hair. It looks like there's seaweed mixed in with gray hair that seems to be turning green. Very old. It has some warts like visibly showing on her face. She has these snails crawling over her back and barnacles attached to her in different places. Some that's just attached to her side of her face. If you can imagine like Davy Jones and his crew from Pirates of the Caribbean, she kind of looks like that. Her hair looks wet. It's like she just got out of the shower, and she's standing there kind of hunched over, and she's, welcome to Dead Man's Corner. And as you're looking around, there are zombies. It looks like about 10 of them in the room. And they're just aimlessly walking around. One of them is standing in the corner just trying to take a step and then bumps into the side of the wall and goes, backs up and then bumps into the wall again.
What is this place?
Oh, you came to one of the finest facilities in all of the Port of Shadow. Welcome. Would you like to purchase one? And she points to one of the zombies.
Oh no.
We prefer
They-
homemade, thank you.
Let me tell you, they are great for discovering traps.
And Molfin's gonna look over at Lachlan. That was that time that mine helped us out with those giants.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Why would you?
they can help you. Yeah.
Why would
You could
need
set up a
one?
supply scenario.
Yeah, why would you need one?
Lachlan, you watch as one of the snails kind of crawls off of her leg and starts to crawl across the floor, slowly leaving a trail of this liquid behind it.
Nope, I'm backing up. Nope,
You're afraid of snails?
Molfin looks at her.
that one.
Oh.
How much for one and a little information?
One? I'll sell you one for a great deal. All right? It'll only cost you, let's say, a sample of your blood and 3 hairs.
Jenny Green Teeth.
Don't
Great,
trust that.
great value.
Molfin, how are we getting this
I've got
thing
one.
back up into the city unnoticed?
I'll even throw in a handmade leash. And she holds up this noose rope. And then dangles.
I feel like he can make his own.
What is that, a rope? You can make that.
Molfin will look at her and just say, "It appears I'm not going to get any business done with these people in tow, so perhaps I shall return after I help them find what they are seeking."
Oh, you won't regret it. You won't regret it. Perhaps you would like one as well. And looks towards Lachlan.
Nope.
I can. Oh, you could all have one as a group, your very own. Each one of you could. I have enough for everyone. Even you. And she points to Brock. Brock's like, nope. Seen this before?
Slavery.
No. What's that one doing? And there's one just bobbing into the corner.
Oh no.
Oh no. Okay.
I'm gonna back up behind my party and cast detect magic since it's.
I'm gonna nope out of there.
Okay. You get a note out of there.
Yeah. Since I could probably run faster than her, so.
She doesn't seem to be chasing you, Ashlyn.
Okay, good. I'm just gonna go out to 11A.
Detect
The party all of a sudden notices.
detect magic is 30 feet.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, these zombies are currently being they are apparently this they're animated dead with the spell.
Anything else in this place aside from the zombies that are magical?
Well, all of the store owner appears to be glowing a little bit of magic herself. Seems like something about her entity is magical. Are you sure? They make great pets.
My dear, I would love to do business with you, but let me aid them with their shopping at the marketplace, and I shall return to do business with you shortly.
Beautiful. Just remember, sample of your blood and just a few hairs.
But of course.
No currency exchange whatsoever.
Molfin will give a little bow and start ushering everyone out.
Yeah.
Come back, see me! And she just like waves with her fingers. One of the barnacles falls off. And you?
Shall we attempt to find an actual marketplace now?
Great city, yeah.
Nobody go in there. Do not give her any blood. You've seen what I can do with it.
Gotcha.
Don't have to tell me twice.
Nah.
Yeah, this 11A area you're in, Ashland, smells awful of fish. It seems like this was an old fish market area where the fish were probably laid out on these tables, and the smell has soaked into the wood of the tables. Like, it is rank. It's nasty. And the 11B place that you were at, it looked like it had some like pedestals. It almost looked like where one might put slaves up on pedestals to sell them to the highest bidder.
This is an up and up area.
Underground slave trade
Yeah.
Oh my god.
area.
We're in a town that finally suits us.
Yeah.
I'm keeping my detect magic up as I start walking towards the upper.
Are you guys going to head towards the middle Skullport? That's where you guys want to head to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Find more shops.
Okay.
And is doing that? Molfin is actually going to be doing the same thing and starts to cast detect magic to keep it up and going, to start looking for what he's looking for.
Okay. You guys head to middle Skullport. You walk up and you start walking along these dilapidated kind of wooden planks that go throughout, intertwining the city. You come up and you make a little bit of a right, and you can start to see the extended ceiling area. And Callista, you look up and you notice something that just, for some reason, just strikes you. It kind of creeps some of the rest of you out, but on the ceiling of this large cavern, you can see, because there are these small glowing green lights that just kind of bob through the air. It almost looks like they're magical orbs or something that are floating in the air that cascade some light upon the town. There is what looks to be a massive, upside down, 8-legged spider carved into the stalactites that are hanging. And it appears to be constructed in a way that allows the eyes to just look upon the city.
Just nope it out. I'm going to either the upper level or the lower level. You guys decide, because I hate spoilers.
And
I am
yawning portal.
And that's where we're going to end tonight's session, since it's 12 after 11. So we'll end it right here as you guys are making your way into Skullport and having yourself a look around. Hey, thank you so much for the subscription, Chris Hansen. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Oh, welcome. We're glad that you guys joined us tonight for another episode of Storm King's Thunder. We had an exciting couple of hours here as our party has finally made it to Skullport underneath Waterdeep. We need to give away a nat 20 for this evening, so does anybody have a nat 20 in mind for tonight?
I want to say for Diana to waking up and being all sneaky like.
Diana was on point there at the beginning. Like,
Yeah, she was so
there was
sneaky with all that.
her talk with Callista was strong.
Yeah.
Like, that was some good RP right there.
I would also like to be really amazing RP was when Molfin did something really evil and went to go confront Dorn by himself.
Oh, that was incredible. That memory.
It was grabbing the hands. I thought you were gonna kill him.
That was clutch. Because I think Dorn was going to, knowing that Molfin was trying to cast something on him, he would have been in fear, because he has a fear of Molfin already.
That was player.
He would have run straight back to Diana and Callista, and that would have caused a problem.
It would have been a big issue.
Although, Diana's already plotting to
kill him off your head herself.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? I think we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna give it to Molfin this time, because I don't think Molfin's had it in a little while. I think we'll go Molfin this time for the clutch modify memory, because that could have. Things could have went a lot differently tonight had that not have popped up. So cool. We'll give that nat 20 over there. Yeah. So we're gonna be back next week for episode 68.
Whoa.
Hopefully the one where we find the market. The creepy hag trying to steal your blood and hair.
So Skullport is an interesting place. There's a lot of interesting things to stumble upon. So we'll see what our party ends up doing there. Anybody have anything they need to say or shout outs that we need to get out the way before we call it a night?
Don't forget, we got what is it? Just over 2 weeks, just shy of 3 weeks for Tabletop Legends.
Tabletop Legends, yeah, we're excited about that. It's going to be super cool, and you want to be there because they have some awesome giveaways, guys. Telling you, so much stuff, and like I think those books are like $170 value or something that they're giving away. That is nuts. So you want to be there. You want to be tuned in live that night for a chance to win those because that's amazing.
And I've seen Matt's house transform over the past couple months. He installed all the lighting and everything. It's really cool.
Yeah, they did a test run on the Tabletop Legends channel the other night, and it was looking really good. Like, even the audio's coming through clear. Everybody, it's definitely well lit. You can tell that they put a lot of time and effort into making it work, and they even got they got the battle cam on the table and everything too. So that makes it all work. It's gonna be super cool. So I'm excited. So Matthew, how's Tomb of Annihilation going?
Oh my god!
Other than my party not knowing how to insight check people.
It's awful.
So they've.
I'm petrified, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. So Sarah's petrified.
Oh,
like fully or in the process?
No, like fully.
Like Clarion?
She made eye contact with a basilisk and failed both saves.
I didn't mean to.
Oh. See, I had to crash out before that fight got intense. So I missed the end. So I'm gonna have to go back and watch that episode.
It's taken an interesting swing. But yeah, I think my party has finally started learning, hey, maybe you should insight check people and not just believe everything everyone's telling you, because somebody might be lying to you.
Cool. They're getting pretty far into that adventure too, so we're gonna start to see some pretty cool things happen in Tomb of Annihilation on Mondays.
They're getting near the tomb if they can just figure out how to get out of here.
Yep.
And don't forget, tune in this Monday and find out what ceiling cat watches you do this time.
There will be new character art for Callista. I've been working on.
Oh right, nice.
Oh.
I can't wait. That'll be great. We'll be revealing that soon as we have it, Christy. Definitely. Also, Christy, I wanted to ask, how's the Wish and Brood been going recently for everybody on Wednesdays?
So Brood is taking about a 6-week break or so while Danica goes and takes a writing class to help her with her writing and drafting career with Cartoon Network. So
excellent.
She's going to be very busy for the next 6 weeks, so she will not be in-game or running Brood for about 6 weeks, but we'll continue on with Wish. We'll probably be getting in some guests.
Yeah, and if you guys haven't checked out Ink running his Wish campaign, he's a remarkable dungeon master. Make sure you guys check him out on Wednesday nights. I hate it that it's so late on Wednesday nights because Thursday mornings is my early morning. So I cannot stay up super late on Wednesday nights, or I would be up there watching it too. But yeah, you guys definitely check it out. Insight check Saturday nights. Man, we got so much good stuff going on Proficiency Bonus right now. It's almost like it's crazy. It's almost like every time I tune into Insight Check, Jamie Stumpy from chat is playing a different character.
I know.
It's like
there's no.
He's always determined to bring Yelro back. That's why.
Is that okay? So this is his. He's trying to justify. He's trying to make. Is he trying to make Alex's life difficult by making all these characters come in?
Yes. He's like, so what's Yelro doing while we're doing this? And she's like, oh my god.
Well, fantastic. Yeah. What about some curse?
My party's in Valaki right now. They've had a couple of misadventures so far, so as Curse of Strahd does.
Yes.
So I got my book right here. It's all noted up and everything.
Wow, that's good.
Prepared for what they're going up against.
Strahd freaks me out. It creeps me.
Yes.
Totally. I mean, I only played it once, and I'm like, I don't know if I ever want to play that again. It gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Parts of it are a little unsettling.
Yeah, it was. And then when you have Matthew DMing for you, it makes it even creepier.
Oh, yeah.
No one once said.
Oh,
Everyone just shut
Did
it
I
down.
did I mention there's just dead bodies hanging from the trees from nooses? Oh,
Yeah,
no, you
you
didn't.
actually did,
Yeah. And this is the first day of this campaign. That's great.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, it made it creepy. It's the way it's supposed to be, though.
Did I mention the walls are bleeding?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was.
And
yeah.
Mystic Hour is going through a revamp. I'm not sure if we have a episode this weekend
Mhm.
or this week or next week. Next week, I'm thinking about trying to get in with Tabletop Legends before they go live for their first stream, but
Oh.
we'll see if that works.
Great.
So there's a possibility of us taking a 2-week break
Mhm.
because me and Lip are revamping the system to have April and May fully fleshed out. So
Sounds good.
we're going to be doing lots of things with D&D and theater kids and improv and theater and script writing, and also when we get into May, we're going to be focusing on the artists in the community.
Nice. Very cool. Excited about that. Yeah, I really enjoyed the episode that you and Ink did
Yeah, that was
with
awesome.
where you guys were like drawing live and stuff. That was neat.
That was so cool.
All right, guys. Well, we are going to call it a night. We will be back with episode 68, I believe. Yes, 68. Next time that we're together.
Chris Hansen's in chat.
Oh, Chris Hansen. Chris Hansen makes yeah, he definitely brightens up the chat room for everybody.
Yep,
So
yep.
yeah, we love it. Well, you guys have a great night, and don't forget the next time that you attempt to free willy jump over a small vessel, don't forget to add your proficiency bonus and make sure your tail is all the way over before you slam back into the water. Free Willy!
Look, I look
You're
like
free.
an orca.
you're dressed like one. Everybody have a good night, and we will see you next week. See you later, guys.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Later.